Alright, share that shit.
The Audible Sports is public.
Steven. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Audible Sports Podcast, where we are live for the third week of our stream. I mean, I think we've been doing pretty good so far. What do you guys think? How was y'all's weekend?
I'm tired.
You're tired? I'm sunburned. I went to the lake yesterday and I burned my feet up. So
Same. Played
Yeah.
softball this morning. Chalked.
did you win? Did you at least win?
Oh no, we got obliterated.
What did you play? What?
Softball.
Oh, softball.
Me and my buddies are starting a team, so
Did you at least compete?
yeah, I hit a home run
Oh, okay. Well, what was the score?
and inside the Parker. Oh, I think we lost 19-2.
Oh my God! Was it a 2-run home run inside the Parker?
Oh no, we had more than 2 runs. We had like 7 runs, but
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
They lost like 19-2.
toward
Not
the
as
end
bad.
it just turned into batting practice. So
Yeah.
Not as bad as the baseball league we joined years ago.
Yeah, that was terrible, but we won't talk about that. But today on the show, guys, we're going over our top 10 fantasy wide receivers, the AFC and NFC South, the AFC and NFC East, which should be fun when we get to the Cowboys section. We're also going to talk about my Colts today in the AFC South. And then we're going to do another in or out of playoffs. We're just going to name a few teams, and then we're going to say whether they're in or they're out towards the end there. So, but we will go ahead and get started here because we're already a little bit late. We're going to our top 10 fantasy wide receivers. I'm not saying it, Steven. Starting at number 10 in our fantasy wide receiver list.
Says it every stream.
Starting at number 10 in our fantasy wide receiver list, we have Mr. Keenan Allen. It's our consensus rankings, everybody. So just remember that this isn't just one person's rankings. It's a ranking between all of us. But what do you guys have to say about Mr. Keenan Allen here? Let's go back to the 3-cam scene.
I want to start by mentioning that our fourth colleague, Tony, is not able to join us today, unfortunately. Oh, yeah. But his rankings are being taken into consideration with these.
Yes,
he just had some stuff to take care of. But
yeah,
just wanted to get that out.
But he's okay.
I'm trying to pull up my damn receivers over here. Oh, it's in my notes. That's why. Wrong application. Okay.
Go ahead.
What are we on? Who's number 10?
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen with I almost said San Diego. The Los Angeles Chargers.
The Chargers.
He's kind of old, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's getting up there.
30.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're going. Yeah. No, it's okay. I'll get it after.
Don't worry, we'll talk about the Eagles later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Eagles later. Tell her to leave.
I love that you guys went quiet too.
Anyways, so you wanted to start, right? Or,
so yeah, I had Keenan Allen down at 10, where he's at in our consensus. He's aging a little bit, and the production in LA, I keep wanting to say San Diego, and LA should be pretty good this year, and I think he'll do really well. He's performed for the last couple of years pretty well up there. I don't know his exact rankings for the past couple of years, but he's a good fantasy wide receiver to have in a PPR or non-PPR league. He will do well this year.
Yeah,
he's a reliable guy.
He's pretty consistent. He's got Justin Herbert throwing to him too, so I think he'll be okay this year. He's a really great fantasy pickup as long as he stays healthy. When he's not healthy, he's not a very good, reliable source there. But Steven, what do you got on Mr. Keenan Allen?
Yeah, I think Daniel hit it on. I mean, he's a safe bet to take for fantasy. I mean, last year 106 receptions, so he was very reliable. I'm sure that they'll use him probably a bit this year, especially with Justin Herbert passing the ball to him. So it's a nice safe pick to start off the wide receivers on.
Yeah, over the past 5 seasons, he has made between 97 and 106 receptions a year, which is great for PPR leagues especially. And all the yards he gets after that are really, really good. He missed only 4 games in those 5 seasons. He allowed him to shook off the injury-prone label, but we'll see what happens this year. Like you guys said, he's turning 30 this year, and he could struggle.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. That's what the NFL stands for. So, but we'll move on to the next fantasy wide receiver. Number 9 on our fantasy wide receiver list, we have Mr. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill just got traded to the Miami Dolphins, and the Miami Dolphins also have Jalen Waddle on the team, and we'll talk about more about the Dolphins later because I think we're talking about the AFC East. But Tyreek Hill should be pretty solid this year. If Tua can come to form, I think that Tyreek Hill will have a pretty good season.
I think Tua is getting a really bad rap right now because he's had a couple of inconsistent throwing. Or not a couple of it. He's had some inconsistent throwing through training camp.
Yeah, he has.
But Tua is a good quarterback, man. I think they'll just fine over there in Miami. Like you said, we'll talk about them a little bit more in a little bit. I know I'm not looking at the camera right now. It's because I'm restarting my other computer because, difficulties.
Get it together, Daniel.
Yeah, dude, I'm falling apart.
It's his computer.
Yeah. New mic arm.
Hey,
oh, yeah, Daniel got a mic arm. Let's all clap for Daniel because last week he lost his mic arm when he was...
Talking.
It
was
just
talking
lost.
About Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he said, "Let's ride," and then his mic arm said, "Nope."
And my mic arm broke. Apparently, the universe didn't like that. Anyway, Tyreek Hill is going to be really good this year as well. He's got Jalen Waddle on the opposite side of him to share some of the catches, but Tyreek Hill is, he's a cheetah dolphin now. He's like a leopard printed dolphin. He's so fast. Dolphin. He'll have a great season. I think that Jalen Waddle might take away a little bit. I think that's why we have him so low in our consensus rankings. But yeah,
he's on a team with a lot of talent. The Dolphins were happy to snatch him up, and they rewarded him with a $75 million extension, which is
whoop, whoop.
a lot of money. So I would have taken that too if I were him.
Yeah.
He turned in yet another exceptional fantasy performance in 2021, catching 111 passes for 1,239 yards and 9 touchdowns on the year. That being said, will see a significant quarterback downgrade from Patrick Mahomes and going from one of the best signal callers in the league to Tua, but we'll see how Tua does this year. Like I said, later on, we're going to talk about Tua and the Dolphins when we talk about the AFC East. I have some things to say about Tua, but we'll see what happens there. But Steven, you got anything on Tyreek Hill?
I think that's like you said, he'll be low a little bit just because of the quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
He'll still produce a lot as long as Tua can be consistent. But other than that, he'll be a good wide receiver to pick up. Definitely, if he's available, I definitely
deserves to be in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We'll move on to the next wide receiver in our rankings here. At wide receiver number 8, our consensus rankings, we have Mr. Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me switch on back here. Messed up on the cam scene here. Mike Evans is also getting old, but he still has Tom Brady because he unretired. So
he's only 28.
Yeah, well, he's getting up there. Usually around 27 is when you start to see people start to hit the downgrade on the hill from your fantasy performances. Typically, like you said, not for long. That's what the NFL stands for. But Mike Evans, I think,
hurt right now.
Yeah, he is hurt now. So see, there you go. But Mike Evans, I think, will be a solid pickup once he comes back to form. Also, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are missing Chris Godwin for the beginning of the season. I don't think he's going to play the first couple weeks. He's still lingering from his injury last year. But Mike Evans should be able to pick up the slack and be Mike Evans like usual and have the fantasy points that he always has. What do you guys think of Mr. Mike Evans?
I mean, with Tom Brady throwing the ball to him, he should be fine. As Tom Brady can stay healthy this year, Mike Evans will be fine. I don't even know who the backup is for Tampa.
That was an odd statement that just came out of your mouth. If Tom Brady can stay healthy.
Well, I mean,
Brady
he's
unhealthy.
He's gonna be what, 43 this year?
He's 40. Going to be 45, I think.
44.
I think he's 44 right now.
He's already 44.
Jesus.
Yep.
Well,
he never leaves.
He will never leave. He will always haunt Casey's dreams.
He won't haunt my dreams. He didn't really do a lot. I mean, he did Deflategate to my team, so.
Anyway,
I don't even have Mike Evans in my top 10.
I know. I was noticing that too. That's why I wanted to ask you about that. You don't even have Mike Evans in the top 10.
I think the reasoning behind that is that there's just so much more young talent that can outperform him. I mean, obviously, we'll get through the rest of these, and
a little bit later.
we'll see what happens. But
what do you think? Like Russell Gage is going to take a lot of his stuff, or what? Because Russell Gage just went over there from Atlanta.
Well, I think Russell Gage will take a little bit of it. I mean, you put talented wide receivers into an offense, and they're going to perform. Or put talented wide receivers into a talented offense, and they'll perform, better. But I don't know. He doesn't sell me as much as the receivers that I have in my top 10. That's all.
I gotcha. Yeah, I think you're right though. If they get put into the system and they do what they need to do, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
What do you think, Steven?
I mean, I said it first.
He gave his little rundown.
Oh, well, never mind. All right. We'll go on to the next wide receiver.
Casey just
I lost track
out
there
during Stevens.
I just lost track.
It's okay.
Number 7, we have Mr. CeeDee Lamb from your Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb. Daniel, I'll let you start on Mr. CD.
That dude.
He is that dude.
I don't understand, and I never will understand how he fell to the Cowboys. As I think he was like pick 18.
I actually don't know how he fell to the Cowboys either. I was like, what are these other teams doing?
I was so happy when we got him, and then the first season that he played is just lights out, man. I actually have CD up one tier at 6, as an unbiased Cowboys fan.
You have him. You do have him at 6. Steven, you have
very talented receiver, and he's also wide receiver 1 this year. So if the Cowboys have that high caliber offense like they did last year, CD is going to see a lot of touches. Good for PPR, and I think he's gonna produce a lot this year.
Yeah, especially with what's his name, Michael Gallup out right now in Washington.
Yep.
He's definitely going to get a
He's
lot
gonna
of.
have
Is
lot of
Washington
workload.
out for the year? I don't remember what his injury was.
No, he's let me look.
I think he hurt his foot.
Yeah, I remember it was a foot injury, but I don't remember how long it's for.
I think he's out for 5-6 weeks.
That's a long time to miss time. I know Michael Gallup won't be back for a few weeks either.
Yeah.
So-
He actually is Michael Gallup's practicing right now.
Oh, that's good. That's good
Michael
though.
Gallup should be in by week 3. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it said 2 days ago he was running routes and everything. Catching
ACL
passes.
injuries don't take as long anymore for
Well,
whatever
depends
reason.
on
They
the
found good
severity
ways
of
to
it.
rehab it. So
Yeah. But CeeDee Lamb improved a bit in his sophomore campaign, but not a whole lot. As a rookie, he averaged 4.6 receptions for 58.4 yards on 6.9 targets per game. Last season, he averaged 4.9 receptions for 68.9 yards on 7.5 targets a game. He scored 5 touchdowns in 2020 and 6 in 2021, but overall, the breakout people expected didn't really happen. Remember last year, everybody thought he was going to have like a monster season, and
Yeah.
he had a good season. It just wasn't
A good season.
a wide receiver 1 caliber monster season.
I
Like,
know,
everybody
it
was
was so
expecting
hard
him.
when he had Cooper and Gallup too.
yeah.
that's
But
like 3 wide receiver ones competing.
how do you guys think he's going to
for
do this
touches
year
there.
with the new receiver
Well,
core you guys have?
he'll be good for the first few weeks until Gallup and Washington come back. But
I think he's ready to take over as the
But
set in
I
stone
think-
wide receiver
Yeah.
1.
He is going to take over. I do believe that. So, but we'll move on to the next wide receiver we got in our rankings here.
gonna take that
The
88.
next wide receiver we have at number 6 is Mr. Devonta Adams. Devonta Adams went off to the Raiders in the offseason. He's got a quarterback downgrade from Derek Carr, which from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr.
To Derek Carr.
But Derek Carr was his college quarterback, so they do have that chemistry already.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're going to have a solid team as long as they all stay healthy. They got Josh Jacobs in the backfield still. I think they have Kenyon Drake too, no? They do have Kenyon Drake. Kenyon
Yeah, I
Drake
think
is,
so.
so they'll be a little two-headed monster in the backfield there.
Mhm.
They got Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, who's a monster. My problem with the Raiders this year is if any of those players get hurt, their backups aren't that great. So that's what I've been saying on the Raiders for a while. What do you guys think on Devonta Adams?
I think you bring up a good point in saying that they don't have a lot of depth. But if they can stay healthy, I think the Raiders are going to do a lot better than people are thinking.
So I have them. I do have them going 8-9 with a losing record, but I can see them winning more games and making the playoffs. I
Yeah.
can see them at like 11-6, 12-5 if the
Like
team
they
really
were last
clicks all
year.
year. Yeah. Well, I mean, last year last year there's kind of a stat that people were throwing out. I think in 1-score games, they won 6 1-score games,
Yeah,
like
Mhm.
it was either 6
narrowly.
or 7.
Yeah, something like that. But that was a big skew. If those games go the other way, they're not even got talked about in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think of Devontae, Steven?
Devontae is going to be good. He's amazing. You saw him in Green Bay.
Mhm.
I think Derek Carr will use him a lot. Hunter and Phil should get. I mean, those two are going to share touches pretty well, but Devontae should be getting a majority of those, so he should have some nice stats this year.
Yeah, he's a really good PPR pickup this year. If you guys are in a PPR league, half PPR, I think he's going to get a lot of targets and eat up a lot of targets. But we'll move on to the next person. Oh, we got somebody in the chat real quick. It's my dad. What's up, Dad?
Pops.
No Tony today. Nope. Tony says he's got family to deal with, so he's not joining us. But we get
To
to
deal with.
display our new 3-cam overlay. So if you check it out, it moves around. Not like the 4-cam one. It doesn't even move. So, but we like this one a lot better.
Because there's 4 cameras in it, so there's nothing to move.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, we could have had a
It's the whole
4-camera
screen.
overlay made, but we
Oh,
didn't. We had up to 3, and then Tony was like, "What about me?" But
Yeah, it's okay.
we got Tony in there. Hi, Tony. We love you.
Yeah, I'm all.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next wide receiver in our ranking list here. Wide receiver number 5 on the year, we have Mr. Deebo Samuel. I will go back to you guys because
We saw him.
you guys
Destroy the
saw him.
Cowboys.
Actually, all of
Go
us
ahead,
were
Steven.
at the Cowboys 49ers game, playoff game last year in the standing room area. But Steven, we'll start with you.
Yeah, that playoff game, he had 10 receptions.
Yeah.
That
Like I
should
said,
tell you enough
PPR,
right there.
that's 10 points.
At 154 yards in that playoff game. He went crazy in that playoff game.
He torched
Uh,
us.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't they have
And
like
he's-
this end around that he came around, grabbed the ball, and just ran it in for a touchdown, like right in front of us?
I
Is
probably,
that him? I think that
Probably.
was
He
him.
he had 1 touchdown in that game. So
Yeah, that's the
but
one we ran
anyways,
toward us.
he is the wide receivers for the 49ers. He'll definitely get a majority of those, especially with Trey Lance getting used to the offense.
I
so he
still-
should definitely.
I still don't know about Trey Lance.
Yeah, we gotta wait that out and find out.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have a resume to prove in the NFL. Like, he hasn't played, so it's going to be a toss up. I mean, the NFL is a different kind of beast. So we'll see what Trey Lance does. But in regards to Deebo, he's probably the best player on that team.
He definitely is.
At least on the offensive side. He's a freak athlete. I mean, they utilize him so much, and we always say that injury could be a factor, but, we always try to go off not expecting injury because nobody wants that. But Deebo's going to produce a lot again this year. I actually have him all the way up at 3 on my list.
You do have him at 3. You have him way up
the
there.
Niners.
I have him at 5, so I think we're on 5 right now.
I actually have him at 8, so I'm not as high as you guys are on him.
We got him pretty split. But yeah, I mean, he torched Dallas last year in the playoff game. He's a freak athlete. He's a big weapon. And he gets a lot of touches. I mean, if you can pick up Deebo, like, get your running backs first, unless you're, in a PPR league, but get your running backs first. And if you can get Deebo like early, I would say take him, because he gets utilized so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was talking about how he's good in PPR leagues. He's also good in our league is a standard league, which we will be drafting next week. You guys can look at that live. We'll be streaming that. But he had 1770 scrimmage yards and 14 total touchdowns. He finished as the wide receiver 2 overall in standard formats and the wide receiver 3 in PPR. The young weapons outlook for 2022 is a bit murkier than his production would indicate. Samuel demanded a new contract extension from San Francisco in the offseason, and he requested his trade as well. But we all know that he fixed that, fine. And he's fine. He's going to be playing on the team. He's going to be solid, and he's going to be a monster in that San Francisco offense. Watch out for San Francisco this year. They can surprise a lot of people this year because their defense is really good.
They can bounce around.
If Trey Lance is the quarterback they think he's going to be, they could make some noise and possibly make another Super Bowl run. So
if Trey Lance makes as much noise as people are putting him up to be, they could win that division. They could beat out LA. I could see it happening.
Yeah,
the Niners are a stacked ass team.
They definitely could. They're very, very scary this year. So, but time will tell, and that's, like I always say, that's why we play the game. So that's why we watch the games. Yeah, Daniel don't like you. He doesn't like you them being in the NFC. So, but we'll move on from Deebo Samuel. We're on our number 4 wide receiver here. At number 4, we have Mr. Stefan Diggs from the Buffalo Bills. Every time I think of Stefan Diggs, I think of the Minneapolis Miracle, where he was just like, in the end zone
there with his arms up.
I remember watching that live, and I was like, he's gone, and the game's over. Like, it was 0 seconds on the clock. That was crazy.
I was working that day, and I remember seeing that. I was just like, what just happened?
Yeah, it was crazy. But last year, after being the surprise overall wide receiver 1 in 2020, Stefan Diggs came down to earth a bit last year. He still managed to finish as a wide receiver 7, but fantasy managers did not quite get what they paid for. Last year, his stat line totaled 103 catches for 1,225 yards and 10 scores. That's not bad, though. That's still wide receiver 1 quality. Yep. It is not common that a player with 10 touchdowns could be seen as a candidate for a positive touchdown regression. So he did have less touchdowns last year, but he also has a lot of competition there in Buffalo. So you got Dawson Knox eating up stuff. You had Josh Allen running in touchdowns because he's very mobile. You had him throwing to Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's no longer there now. And then they have Gabriel Davis this year.
Bring him back to Dallas.
Yeah, they'll be a threat this year. But what do you guys think of Stefan Diggs?
Are you talking about Cole Beasley?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he wants Cole Beasley back.
He wants to come back to Dallas, dude.
I know. After
tweeting and stuff.
After when he left, he was all trash in Dallas, and now he's like, I want to come back.
Yeah.
Stefan, he's gonna be great. He has a great brother, who's gonna eat up a lot of interceptions again. But
talking about
Stefan,
we're not talking about the Cowboys. We're talking about Stefan Diggs, not
Cowboys,
not the other Diggs. They always got to get their Cowboy stuff in.
I had to sneak that in there.
Whatever. All right,
I like the mindset.
Talk about Stefan Diggs. We'll talk about your Diggs when we get to the NFC East later.
Stefan, he's on a stacked team, like you said. So I mean, he's gonna get the ball, but he's gonna be not struggling for catches, but he will be competing for them a lot. As long as he can stay healthy too, he'll be a great receiver. He's number 4, I think.
Yeah, he's 4 on our rankings. I think he's gonna be a target machine.
I had him
this
at 4 too, so he'll definitely get the targets. He should be good.
What about you, Daniel?
I want to acknowledge, like Steven's saying that you both kind of mentioned that there's a lot of mouths to feed in Buffalo. I think that helps him because he will not be getting double covered.
That's true.
Because you can't cover him because then you're leaving another wide receiver threat open on the other side of the field. They're stacked, at their whole team is stacked. Let's be honest. But on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, they have so many weapons to go to that you can't leave any of them. You know what I mean?
True.
You can't leave any of them unattended.
That's a mistake.
Yeah. So I have Stefan Diggs really high this year. I have him up at 4 where we have him in our consensus. I think he will perform really well this year. Josh Allen is a veteran quarterback, as we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are freak athletes. They have great chemistry together. If you can pick up Stefan Diggs, do it.
Do it. All right, we're going to go on to number 3 in our wide receiver rankings. At number 3, we have Jamar Chase, the surprise guy from last year on the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase met all expectations and then some in 2021 in his rookie season after being the number 5 overall pick in the draft. Chase finished with 81 catches for 1,455 yards and 13 touchdowns, while also setting the single game rookie receiving record with 266 yards in week 17. Chase is primed to build off his debut success in 2022 on a Bengals offense that has been upgraded. They have a new offensive line. They have wide receivers. They have weapons. They're going to be scary this year. What do you guys think about Jamar Chase?
Did you just say he went for 226 yards in one game?
Yep, in week 17 last year.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Who were they playing?
I don't remember. Let's see.
Anyways.
It doesn't matter. It was week 17. It's like the garbage time week.
I mean, still.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Still ridiculous, but crazy. But go ahead on Jamar Chase.
Oh, it was against the Browns. No, it was against Kansas City.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn. Go ahead, Steven.
You
got
Jamar Chase. He's on an upgraded offense. I mean, we saw him in the Super Bowl last year. Now that Joe Burrow has an offensive line he can throw to, he's definitely going to get a lot more balls towards him. So he should see increased production. I don't know if he'll get 13 touchdowns this year, but we'll see about that.
I think he's going to go over that.
You think he's going to go over? Didn't we have
We had an over-under with that. We did.
That's
and
right.
I think I said he gets 14.
I think I said that he was like at 12, 13. But he's definitely going to get a lot more touches this year. So be on the lookout for him. He's definitely one of the top 3 wide receivers this year. So watch out.
Got him top 3, huh? I actually have Jamar Chase down at 5. The Bengals have a really high caliber offense, just like the Bills do, and they've added to their offensive line this year, which should give Joey Ice, some more time in the pocket to work to get the ball out. Having said that, though, he's pretty stacked up in receivers, just like Buffalo. You have Jamar Chase on one end, you got Tyler Boyd in there, you got T. Higgins.
T. Higgins is going to eat this year, too.
Exactly.
He's going to be really good.
I think T. Higgins is going to eat a lot this year. T. Higgins could be a top 10 wide receiver as well. I didn't want to throw 2 from the same team in. So kind of riding out on Jamar Chase with both of y'all as well. But he should produce a lot this year. But like I said, I have him at 5, right under Stefan. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Jamar.
Perfect. Well, let's move on.
226 yards is nuts.
Yeah, that's insane in one game. Broke the rookie record.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the number 2 wide receiver in our rankings, which to no surprise, we all know who 1 and 2 are. Who do we have at 2, though? We have Justin Jefferson from the Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota.
The Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson had a remarkable rookie season in 2020. After 88 receptions, 1,400 yards, and 7 touchdowns, the pressure was one for him to improve. And improve he did last year. While playing in all 17 games, Jefferson had 108 receptions for 1,616 yards and 10 touchdowns. I think he can improve on that this year because he's going to be the main target in Minnesota this year. And a lot of people put a lot of flack on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback. So if you guys don't pick up in your fantasy drafts, if you don't get a like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen early, in the later rounds, just grab Kirk Cousins and get the better players because he's going to produce this year. He's going to be really good. Yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
But he was Kirk Cousins' main target and was able to keep the offense afloat during the weeks when Adam Thielen was missing games during injury. But Adam Thielen is coming back this year. Adam Thielen's getting up there in age as well, but we'll see what he does as well. But Daniel, what do you think of Mr. Justin Jefferson?
I think it's wow, that is
yeah,
hard
we
to
can't say that. Say Justin Jefferson 8 times fast.
Justin Jefferson.
Why
Justin
8
Jefferson.
times? Holy crap.
Well, why
Did I
not?
say twice?
No. All
I
right,
can barely say it once. Justin Jefferson is taking over in Minnesota. Like you said, Adam Thielen is still there. My team name for one of my fantasy leagues 2 years ago was Hooked on a Thielen.
Hooked on a
I won
Thielen.
that fantasy league.
It's pretty awesome.
But again, Adam Thielen's getting older. You got Justin Jefferson there. He's young. He's coming off his rookie season. He's getting better and better with every game. So, I mean, it's no surprise that he's up at number 2. I'm pretty sure most people know the only receiver that we have at number 1, who's a little bit better. He's proved himself last year, but we'll get into that in a second. Justin Jefferson's going to eat this year.
Yep. Here's the thing. I do have the other receiver higher than Justin Jefferson. Barely. I was this close to switching because I think Justin Jefferson is going to be wide receiver 1 this year.
Yeah.
He should be.
So we'll see what happens.
He should be. He should get more than 10 touchdowns this year, easily. Especially if Kirk Cousins can stay consistent like he is, he'll definitely be eating a lot. So
yeah, Kirk Cousins last year, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Yeah,
that's good. That's really good.
Definitely. Hey, we got a new subscriber.
Hey, thanks, Matt Pignon. We appreciate it. New subscriber there. If you guys want to subscribe, it will go right here. This little thing right here will change if you subscribe to our channel. So pretty awesome there. But we appreciate you, man. You can jump in the chat if you want to. We'll be here to answer any questions you might have. But speaking of chat, they've been talking
one of my
there.
Xander's friends. What up, Matt?
Edward said that film will keep Chase from getting over 13 touchdowns.
What do you mean, film?
Like defensive
watching
coordinators will be watching and seeing his tendencies.
We'll see. I mean, film is only part of the battle. You have to actually be really physical. He's a really physical guy, and he's really fast. So film might not really do much. I mean, it is the NFL. These are all really great players, but I think
watching
he can get
film
over 13.
doesn't always translate to the field. You got to be able to perform as well, and there's not a lot of amazing corners out there right now. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ask Kyler Murray too about that watching film thing. But all right. All right. Well, we'll go on to our We'll go on to our number 1 fantasy wide receiver, who is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was the number 1 overall fantasy wide receiver in fantasy last year, which we all know. But Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp was outstanding last season. Kupp had 145 catches for 1,947 yards and 16 touchdowns. Wide receiver 1 on the year in all formats. He was named AP Offensive Player of the Year and was Super Bowl MVP for the Rams. And he got a Super Bowl ring. Well, he'll receive a Super Bowl ring, which I don't know if you guys have seen the Rams Super Bowl rings, but they're ridiculous.
They're nuts.
Yeah, if you guys pull up like just YouTube Rams Super Bowl ring, and it's pretty crazy. It was a season almost unheard of by any wide receiver of any standards. So how does he follow it up? Robert Woods is now in Tennessee with the Titans, and Odell Beckham Jr. is likely headed to another team in free agency. He is also injured. They add Allen Robinson, which I think will complement Kupp very well. And I think Allen Robinson, this is the best quarterback he's ever had, ever. So I think Allen Robinson might be a good pickup this year in leagues as well, going to the Rams. But the Rams are built to win this year. So what do you guys think of Mr. Cooper Kupp this year?
What can't you say about him? He won all the, what was it, the Triple Crown of wide receivers last year? He won every
pretty much. He
won every category. Receiving yards and touchdowns.
Yep. He won all those categories for sure.
16 touchdowns, 145 receptions with almost 2,000 yards.
Yeah, 1,947 yards. He was that close to 2,000.
That's over like 105 yards a game average.
Yep. Insane. If you had Cooper Kupp on your fantasy team last year, you're probably won your league.
It's crazy that his longest catch was only 18 yards.
That is pretty crazy.
That's why
he is fast.
He's very fast after the catch.
Yeah, he catch and goes down. What do you think of Cooper Kupp, Daniel?
I love him, dude. Cooper Kupp he's just a show out stud. I mean, he fits into that offense so well. There's not much to say about it. He's proved himself, man. I mean, I did have him last year in one of my fantasy leagues. He was lights out. It was nuts.
In our league last year, I made the mistake of picking. It was him and Robert Woods were going back to back, like around the 40s. And I flipped a coin and it landed on Robert Woods. So I picked Robert Woods, and that was a mistake. Yeah.
And like you said, he'll have a good compliment in Allen Robinson. I think that Allen Robinson won't take very much away from it. It'll be the same thing like I was saying earlier. You're still going to have to cover Allen Robinson. So Cooper Kupp, well, he'll probably get double teamed every once in a while, but he's so quick. Like his routes are super sound, and he breaks out of them so fast. And the way he runs after catch is he just produces.
Yeah, but Allen Robinson will get his catches too. I mean, he's going to be a great pickup as well with Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp is elite. He's up there. That's why he's our number 1 overall wide receiver. We got nothing going on in the chat here, so let's go to our next category here. We're going to start
Kevin
with...
mentioned earlier the 2-time
as a quarterback
blockbuster champion as quarterback.
Video game.
He's talking about Dr. Disrespect.
Did you watch that video?
He threw a 70-yard pass at the 49ers facility.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. And then he had a whole thing where he's like, we're going to go 70 yards and blah, 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 and he threw it. I was like,
they never showed him throwing at 70 yards.
No, he probably threw it and then they just caught it down the field. So we all know what happened. He didn't really do it.
Don't ever question the 2-time.
Yeah.
He'll find you.
All right.
Meet us back in Dallas in playoffs this year.
True. Honestly, I can see it happening. I hope not, honestly, but we'll see.
All right, we're going to move on to the NFC South, if that's okay with you guys.
It's not.
It's not? Yeah, the NFC South is going to be pretty, well,
just kidding.
Interesting this year.
Let's go.
But
Team 4.
The NFC South, team number 4. Who do we think it is? It is the Atlanta Falcons with a record of 4-13. You guys hate the Falcons. I hate them too this year. I actually have them at 4-13, which is our consensus rankings.
I got them at 3-14.
Yeah, so
dude, it's rough in Atlanta, man.
Yeah, Atlanta. It's gonna be a long season.
Very long season.
This team will be a huge contender this season for the number 1 overall pick in the draft. They have Mariota to replace Ryan. Ridley is out this year, and Pitts may be their most offensive player this year if Drake London doesn't pan out the way they think he's going to. This just won't be a great football team. Pair that with a tough schedule, and the Falcons shouldn't expect a lot of... Falcon fans should not expect a lot from their team this year. You guys are definitely in a rebuild in the near future. Daniel, what do you think of the Atlanta Falcons this year?
I think they're in their rebuild now.
Yeah, since they trade all their players away, and they also still don't have Calvin Ridley because he's out for betting on games. So there's that too.
Didn't he walk away from football last year?
He did, and then he came back, and then
I'm done.
They were like,
and then came back.
You bet on football. So you're out for a year. Deshaun Watson got a less severe suspension than Calvin Ridley, which still blows my mind. It's insane.
You know, that's the NFL for you.
Steven, what you got on the Falcons?
Just nothing. Just terrible team. It's a terrible team. No, it's okay. Yeah, they're not looking good. I think they've been in a rebuild since they lost that Super Bowl. I mean, ever since then, it's just been downhill since.
Yeah, Falcon fans have to listen to 28 to 3.
I was just like, how did that happen?
There's a video on YouTube that I watched once where it's a Atlanta fans perspective of the Super Bowl, and they're at like a watch party.
Oh, you showed me this video. It was they were so happy for half the video.
And then it was like everyone was so pissed at the end. They just cut the video off, no outro, no. It was
they were just like,
I just want to remind everyone that isn't aware of that Super Bowl. Tom Brady and he was with the Patriots still, yeah?
Yeah, that was the Patriots.
Yeah. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots were down 28-3 in the Super Bowl.
In the third
with
quarter.
3 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third quarter. And the Falcons blew it.
In overtime.
They lost.
Their defense lost it for them, and their offense didn't really do much because the Patriots defense turned it up. So, but
I guess that's what happens when you're playing Tom Brady, though.
I'm sorry, Falcon fans, but you're going to have to listen to 28-3 until you win the Super Bowl. So,
yeah.
But it's
rough. It might be a while.
Still pretty insane. It's pretty crazy that we don't really want to talk about your team because they're so bad. So
good for Matt Ryan getting out.
Yeah, but good for Matt Ryan. Good for Matt Ryan coming to the Colts. It's gonna lead us to a Super Bowl. Let's go.
Well, I don't know about that, but
we'll talk about that later. But I got some stuff later. But
move on. Next team.
NFC South. All right. Next team in the NFC South rankings here. We have The Carolina Panthers, that shouldn't surprise anybody, and their consensus ranking we have is 5-12. The Panthers are also headed for a horrible season as well this year. So I really want Baker Mayfield to start against the Browns. If they put Sam Darnold in, I'm going to be so sad.
I think he will.
I think they already named him the starter.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, they already named him? I didn't see that. So.
I don't think they've officially named him, but he was practicing as QB1.
Yeah, well, I want him to start against the Browns week 1.
Yeah, that would be great.
That will be must-watch TV. The Panthers just lost potential future QB Matt Corral in a preseason game with a torn ligament in his foot. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Matt Corral came out of Ole Miss, and he tore a ligament in his foot, and he's out for the season. So,
how do you tear a ligament in your foot?
Well, he did it. If the Panthers don't improve this year, I think Matt Rule gets fired. Remember last year when the Panthers started 3-0?
3-0, and then the Cowboys destroyed them.
Yeah, and then do you know what they finished as after they started 3-0?
Bad.
5-12.
Yeah, I'm about to say 5-12.
5-12.
Jesus.
The rest of the year, they won 2 games.
They went 2-12 the rest of the games. Did them in.
The Cowboys just demolished them.
Good.
Also, you have one of the best running backs in the league, but he can't ever stay healthy. They can't rely on him all the time either. So that's probably why he's hurt. Like, he's the whole team right there. We will see what they do, but I have them going 4-13 on the season with the consensus rankings. What do you guys have on the Carolina Panthers?
I think they're going to be a little better than 4-13, personally. I mean, because they do open up with the Browns and the Giants. So that should be 2 wins right there. But then after that, it's Cardinals, Saints, 49ers, Rams, Buccaneers. So,
well, you guys are kind of, we'll talk about it later when we get to the NFC East, but you guys are down on the Browns and the Giants a lot. The Browns have a solid team. They're just missing a quarterback. The Giants are better. They're going to be better than they were last year. They're not going to be as terrible as I think you guys think they're going to be. So
I didn't say that.
Will they? We'll get to that.
Well, you said they're going to play the Browns and the Giants and their wins. So, but they're not automatic wins.
That should still be,
yeah.
I mean, better than playing everybody else.
Better than those 2 teams still.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I do agree with you that they should.
I think Baker Mayfield is a much better quarterback than Sam Darnold is.
Yes, he is. He's a huge upgrade. And if the Panthers don't utilize Baker Mayfield, I don't know what you're doing. Like,
and then Christian McCaffrey should be back healthy. So I mean, they should be fine starting off.
He's always fine to start the season. He starts off healthy. He just doesn't stay healthy. So
yeah,
we'll see if he plays the whole season.
I'm kind of taking it as Christian McCaffrey staying healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers picked up some new offensive linemen. They picked up Austin Corbett from the championship LA Rams. They also picked up Ike Mekwonu out of NC State. Like I had mentioned in our very first video that we posted, ranking every team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Christian McCaffrey will have a lot more insurance in his offensive line. Having said that, it is still the NFL. It is still Smash Mouth football.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Panthers will do better than, what do we have them at, 5-12?
Yeah, you have them.
Consensus.
We have them at 4-13. You have them at 7-10.
I have them at 7-10 too.
I'm riding the Panthers pretty high for being 3rd place in your division. But having Baker Mayfield there, like we said, he's a QB1. They should be able to turn around a 5-12 season from last year. Hopefully they don't get demolished by one team and then just tank the rest of their season.
Yeah,
they have a pretty doable schedule to get them to 7 wins. You got Cleveland at home. You got New York. Tampa, I have them taking a game from Tampa.
In Carolina?
Then they play, it's in Carolina.
Yeah.
Then they have to play Atlanta twice. Those are both wins in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You get Seattle at home, or Seattle in Seattle, and then you play Detroit once. That's 7 wins right there for me. So I could see it happening.
Not out of the realm of possibilities.
Especially if CFC stays healthy. I mean, that should
be the key factor, just like every year. But I mean,
yeah, that is their key. Their 2 key factors are CMC staying healthy and Baker Mayfield's quarterback play. What's he going to do there? So we'll see what happens. But they do have some weapons there too. They have DJ Moore. They have some great weapons.
I think the pressure's going to be off Baker Mayfield because he's not with the Browns anymore. So he doesn't have to prove it to them that he was a quarterback. So now he can just relax and play football.
Well, we'll see what they do. But
in the wise words of Casey, that's why we play the game.
That's why we play the games.
What up, Quincy? Quincy is one of my boys. He is a Giants fan, and he likes to come into my Twitch streams and just say that the Cowboys are ass.
He just likes to come in and do that to you?
Yeah, he just likes to kind of like poke at me, but then he's a Giants fan, so like he's a Giants fan.
Well,
there's not much more to say.
Well, you guys are the rivals with each other, so it doesn't really bother
Quincy,
me. What's up, Quincy? How you doing, man? All right. Well, let's move on to the next team in our divisional ranking board. This is where it gets a little more spicy. Team number 2, we have the New Orleans Saints. Their consensus record we have for them is 9-8. I think I actually have the Saints. I have the Saints 10-7. So
I have them 10-7.
Yeah,
I have them at 9-8. So, well, go ahead. Do yours first.
Well, Tony has them at 8-9, which brought him down. So, but that's why the consensus rankings are there. In the offseason, the Saints went out and beefed up their O-line, and they added Chris Olave from Ohio State, who I think could be an immediate playmaker. He's a great wide receiver. They also added Jarvis Landry, and hopefully they have Jameis Winston to start the season, which they will. Hopefully Jameis can stay healthy throughout the season. Without Winston last year, the Saints offense really struggled. Their defense will be solid this year. No Sean Payton this year will be interesting too. I like them to surprise some people this year, which is why I have them 10-7. I could even see him winning this gosh dang division. So the Buccaneers aren't the same Buccaneers. We'll get to them next, but we'll let you guys go on them.
Steven?
The Saints, I have them at 10-7, so a little bit higher. Like Casey said earlier, that defense is going to be good, probably one of the best in the NFC. But that offense is a little questionable, but they did get a lot better. If Jameis can stay healthy this year, I mean, they should do really well. I mean, he was hurt last year. I mean, that's why the Saints didn't do well as they probably should have. But no Sean Payton, a new offense this year, so that might be a little bit questionable, but they should be at least decent, pushing for that playoff spot.
What do you got on the Saints, Daniel?
I actually marked why I have them at 9-8 here. It's because they have a tough schedule. Quincy, the Giants are not better than the Cowboys. Get over it. Anyway, Saints, I have them at 9-8 this year. Like Casey said, they added some big key players. You got the Honey Badger coming from Kansas City. Beef up the defense immediately. Quincy, thank you for the sub, Papa.
Oh, yep. Right there.
Beefs up the defense right there. You pick up Jarvis Landry on offense. That's going to give you a veteran mentality there to fill in. Like Casey said, I could see the Saints taking the division this year. I mean, it's going to take a lot because, you have Tom Brady and the Bucs. But I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either. I really like the Saints this year. Their over-under on wins is 8. Give me the over. I think they're going to win more than 8 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
think so too.
Yeah.
Again, Jameis Winston is a lot better than a lot of people think, and he has improved every year that he has been in the league.
I think he's a solid quarterback. I think he's really, really good. He can play.
He was a little rough when he got into the league, but he has progressively gotten better every year.
He's matured a lot too.
He has matured a lot. Like I said, he got LASIK too, so he can see his receivers down the field now.
True. I want to see him eating W's this year. I like the Saints a lot.
They do this a lot. I saw him doing that to some kids in a preseason game a couple of weeks ago. It was cool. Like the kids were like, "We're gonna eat some W's." He's like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool." Yeah. But let's go to the final team here in our rankings for the NFC South. It should be no surprise to everybody that team number 1 we have is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Tampa
Bay Buccaneers.
Tom Brady.
Yes, exactly.
You're so clever.
We have them going 11-6 as a consensus ranking. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
But
oh, God.
Tom Brady left in the offseason, got tired of his family, and then came right back.
And now he's back again.
Yeah, now he's back again. The real question about the Buccaneers this season is, will they get swept by the Saints? In the last 8 meetings between the Saints and Buccaneers, the Buccaneers have won 1 time. Wow. That 1 time was a playoff game, though. So the Buccaneers did get the better of them then. That's a mind-blowing stat for you guys.
That's pretty nuts.
Was that the Super Bowl run?
I believe so. But with Tom Brady back, though, I think it makes the Buccaneers contenders. I don't think this Bucs team will be as great as the past few seasons, though. I do have them winning the division, but I really think the Saints this year can make some noise and surprise some people. That being said, Buccaneers opened up against Dallas. Then they play the Saints. Then they're at Green Bay. And then in week 4, they go to Arrowhead Stadium to play Kansas City.
Nope, they're at home for that.
Oh, are they at home? Okay, they're at home.
They're at home for Green Bay and Kansas City.
It doesn't matter either way. That's a brutal start to start the season.
This Dallas game will tell a lot.
Well, not just the Dallas game. Those first 4 games could be their whole season right there. Like, you're going to see what you got in Tampa Bay real quick. So they got to play some smash mouth football quick.
Yeah.
But that's what I got on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What you guys got?
Yeah, that opening schedule is going to be tough for them. That first game, Dallas should tell us a lot, just because right now I think they're missing some offensive line personnel right now, and Tom Brady's also out for a bit.
Well, they traded Alex Kappa to, I think, Cincinnati. Yeah, so, I mean, he's a big piece that they had last year that they're not going to have. But, yeah, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, so it should be interesting to see how they start off the season, because that'll tell us a lot about the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. What you got, Daniel?
So when Tom Brady came back, I just want to let it be known that a lot of the people that were going to become free agents re-signed with the team. They got a lot of key re-signings in, especially in his cake of a center. That guy is
probably the best center in the league.
He's a great center, but he is a scrappy player. He's very much, if anybody watches the NBA nowadays, it's kind of rough, but Patrick Beverley, one of the most annoying, if not the most annoying NBA player. I like to compare him to him because he's very scrappy. But yeah. So they have a lot of key re-signings. They got Russell Gage in there. Gronk is gone, but Cameron Brate will make up for that. He already pretty much did last season because Gronk was hurt. And you got Tom Brady leading your team, so you can't count him out. If you try to bet against Tom Brady, it will bite you in the ass. I have experienced it firsthand. Don't ever do it.
Yeah, he doubts Tom Brady every year. He doubts him every year, and then he kicks his ass. So there you go.
It's like the Cowboys. It's like, this is our year. This is the year for Tom Brady to not win a Super Bowl, and then he goes and gets 7. So don't count him out.
Yeah, you can't ever count them out. I mean, this team's going to be solid. They're going to compete. It's going to be a great division to watch for 2 teams. I think the other 2 teams are going to kind of struggle.
Yeah.
But that's what we got there for the NFC South. Let's go to the chat here. Quee says, what does that mean? We're better than y'all.
He was talking about the Cowboys, the Giants being better than the Cowboys. I already got through that one. Edward wanted to, I'm going to try to read this off in his voice. He said, can I get a 30 for 30 and a winning season for the Dallas Cowboys, I believe.
We'll see what happens. The Colts? Yes. I'm a Colts fan. We exist.
We exist.
Which QB next year?
Far
DJ.
and few in between, but they exist.
Yes, you missed the top 10 fantasy receivers, so you're going to have to watch it on playback, or when we post the video later, we'll post a fantasy receivers video. We have the fantasy receivers is actually the last one for all fantasy. We have covered tight ends, running backs, quarterbacks the past couple weeks, and we just did receivers this week. We're adding the AFC and NFC South this week, and the NFC and AFC East this week, because next week we are streaming our live draft for our league. So that's what we're streaming next week. And then the next stream we will have will be starting on Tuesdays.
Regular season, baby.
Regular season. So we're going to start it the Tuesday before the regular season starts. And we'll go into predictions, more stuff than just fantasy predictions and all that kind of stuff. But we'll predict games. We'll do a bunch of other things. So
it'll be fun.
A lot of
Make
fun.
Sure y'all are
lots
subscribed.
Of fire, so
it's going to be May.
All right.
It's going to be or September, Steven.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on to my oh my gosh, you guys are dumb. Let's move on to my division. Let's move on to the AFC South.
Boo.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, 4th place, Colts, let's go.
And the fourth place team we have in this division.
Colts are going 2-15.
I think the worst team.
All right, you guys need to shut up. The fourth place team we have in this division is the Houston Texans. We have a consensus. This might be the worst consensus record we have for any team.
Yeah.
It's 3-14.
Yeah. That's rough.
I do have a team lower than that, actually.
But you do? Oh,
keep
well,
going.
Okay, well, we'll talk about
Is it the Eagles?
Yeah. Daniel hates the Eagles, guys. But John, if you were watching, here you go. You get your Texans content. The bad news is you don't have Deshaun Watson anymore.
Yeah, I mean, did they, though?
The good news is you don't have Deshaun Watson anymore. You guys can just hang out with those 3 first-round draft picks you got for him and get ready for the pain that will be the 2022-2023 Houston Texans season.
Yeah.
This team is in a full-blown rebuild, and you guys will have Davis Mills at your QB. He did really good last year, I will say, coming into all the stuff that he had to deal with last year. Davis Mills came out of Stanford. He was a rookie last year, and he did okay for a rookie in Houston. Last year, do I think
That's a nice way to put that.
Well, yeah, but yeah. Do I think Mills is the Houston QB of the future? No. But I do think you guys may win a game against the Jaguars, and I hope you steal one from the Titans. I can't see you guys beating us after we beat you by a combined score last year of 62-3. We were at the game in Houston with John. And John, for those of you that don't know, John, he's in the chat, so we'll get to you right now, John. But John, John's a huge Texans fan.
Whoa.
And yeah, I can also confirm that Texans fans exist. So there's that. They didn't cross midfield until the fourth quarter. And John, along with all the other Texan fans that were still left in the stadium, cheered like they won the Super Bowl. Like that stadium erupted when they crossed midfield.
Hey, you got to take your dubs, dog.
Yeah.
You got to take
I
the
was
dubs
like,
where you can
oh my
count.
gosh. But I think the Texans are in for a long year, and I have them going 3-14, but they could shock us all and win a few more games than that. But that is my little rant on the Texans there. What do you guys have?
Super Bowl.
I'll let you guys get your piece in, and then we'll go back to the chat here.
Oh, cool.
Go ahead, Steven.
The Texans, man. Hey, they play this year here in Dallas, so we'll get to see them if we want to, I guess.
Well, we'll see them in about 3 weeks, Steven.
Yeah, we'll see
in
them play the
Houston.
Colts.
We are going to actually, John's coming with us. We're going to the Colts-Texans game in Houston, so that should be a lot of fun. But go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, Texans is going to be rough. I mean, like Edward said, even the hot dogs there take an L. I mean, it's hard.
I want you guys to just take a minute and talk about the hot dogs.
Yeah, that we talked about it last week. So
Not
what
everyone
happened
was
is,
here for that.
so me and Casey love chili cheese dogs.
We love chili cheese dogs.
We love going to Winston and getting chili cheese dogs. That's our favorite thing. And of course, what we saw first thing in Houston was chili cheese dogs, and they were footlongs.
We're like, oh hell yeah!
They're like, oh hell yeah, let's go. We got in line. There was nobody in the stadium. Let's be honest.
It was all Colts fans.
It was
like
half
the
full.
stadium was packed full of Colts fans.
So I get my hot dog. They give it to me. I pay for it, and I look at it. I was like, this hot dog looks weird. It was gray. It was the color gray.
While he's looking at it, I'm buying one, not looking at his hot dog.
Yeah,
and
Tony,
I get it, and I just go.
I bit into it. It was probably the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah, we literally went to our seat, bit into it, and spat it out, and ate on the way home. Went to a Mexican place on the way home.
That was the worst $13 I've ever spent in my life.
You spent $13.
We spent $13 on a gray hot dog.
It was a foot long.
God,
it was disgusting.
That's $13.
Daniel, you would not have eaten it. It was like sand. Like you bit into sand, and then it just went bleh. Like it was disgusting.
$13, bro. Inside, it was
disgusting.
The chili was gross. I mean, the cheese wasn't melted.
Christ.
The chili came out of a can like 8 years ago.
Yeah, like let's be honest. The food options in Houston were terrible. There was nothing else. They had barbecue, which I think was the next thing we tried. It was okay. I mean, it's but yeah, we ended up going to the Woodlands and eating at some nice Mexican restaurant then.
So if you're gonna go to Houston to watch a game, eat
before the game. There's a Whataburger in the stadium. Go there. But let's move on to the chat here.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Hot dogs even took an L.
Yeah, see, that's why I was like, yeah.
John, yep, I'm watching the moment I've been waiting for. At least you gave us the Jags. John, was it everything that you thought it would be? Wow, I thought it was hard being a Giants fan. Yeah, it's hard being a Texans fan apparently right now too.
It's hard being a Giants fan, Quincy.
What's
Don't try to get
the
away from that.
What happens if the Texans surprise and beat the Colts? How mad is Casey gonna be?
Oh my God, that'll be a stream.
It's a divisional game.
John can be on the next stream after that.
How
about that?
To the Jags. So.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still not over that loss. But speaking of the Jags, let's move on to the next team in our rankings here.
Yep.
Wow, way to give it away, you jerk.
The next team in our rankings here is, surprise, surprise, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars with a consensus ranking of 5 and 12.
Yeah, not much better.
Yeah, so they're going to be better than their 4 and whatever
13.
it was last year. Yeah, you know what? They were 4 and 13 because they beat us and then knocked us out of the playoffs. So I'm still pissed off about that.
So they're going to beat you twice this year, you're saying.
But that is exactly why I couldn't put the Colts in the top 10 rankings. They have to prove it to me before I put them in the top 10. So, but the Jaguars are coming off having the number 1 pick in the draft the last 2 years. I think they can make it 3 this year if they don't play well again. They did decimate the wide receiver market in the offseason by giving a lot of money to people like Zay Jones from the Raiders, 3 years, $30 million. And yeah, I've never heard of him either, so you guys aren't alone. And they signed Christian Kirk to a 4-year, $72 million deal.
That's pretty good.
For Christian Kirk, these are guys that should not be getting this much money. Like
Christian Kirk's a good running back.
He's not a running back; he's a wide receiver.
Oh, sorry. Who am I thinking of?
Who?
Sorry, brain fart. My bad.
Daniel's dumb, guys.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
I think you guys will improve this year. You have Doug Peterson over Urban Meyer, which is definitely an upgrade. You won't have a head coach going into the bars looking at girls.
That we know of.
That we know of, yeah. You will have Travis Etienne back from injury. Travis Etienne was Trevor Lawrence's running back at Clemson, and your first-round pick, Trayvon Walker from Georgia, should have an immediate impact with the defense. I have them being slightly better than last year at 4-13, but I wouldn't be shocked if they won 5 or even 6 games this year. You are not beating the Colts this year. Stop it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Who else? Who wants to go on the Jaguars?
Daniel.
I mean, the Jaguars haven't done anything good since that
since the Colts game
playoff run.
That was such a weird run.
That they made the AFC Championship with was it Gardner Minshew?
Blake Bortles.
Oh, it was Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. And then they came back to earth and then remembered that they are the Jaguars, and they've been there ever since. The Jaguars have not been consistently good since Maurice Jones-Drew, so we can just go ahead and get on with that.
Yeah. Poor Jags.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jags. They'd be a bit better offensively. That defense is non-existent, so they should. Yeah.
They got some players on defense, but it's not a full-blown good defense. They did have a good defense back when they had Miles Jack and all those guys, but we'll move on to rank number 2. The second-ranked team in our consensus rankings is the Tennessee Titans, with a record of 10-7. Our consensus record is 10-7. What do you guys have them at?
I have them at least 11-6, I think.
Oh, let me see here. I need to move this thing out of the way.
All right, Casey, go ahead. Let's hear the rant.
Well, I'll give you the rant right now. But Tony has the Titans at 9-8. Daniel, you have them at 10-7. I have them at 10-7.
I had them at 10-7?
Yes, you have them at 10-7. Oh. And Steven, you have them at 9-8. So I had to put them at 10-7 because they were up
down one.
But their schedule's really easy. Ours is pretty easy too. The NFC East and the AFC South this year are going to have pretty easy schedules because we all play each other. So that's the other thing. But you got two really good teams, 2 decent teams in both those divisions. So you got the Eagles and Cowboys, and you have the Titans and the Colts.
And you got 2 bad teams.
That being said, Titans trade away AJ Brown to the Eagles. The Eagles were okay with paying him the money he wanted. They drafted Treylon Burks from Arkansas to replace Brown, and he showed up to training camp out of shape, apparently. So great job, Tennessee. Did good there. Burks can be a great wide receiver, as he did do great things at Arkansas. Derrick Henry will be back this year from injury, and I do not hate Derrick Henry, just so all you Titan fans know. I like the guy. He's really good. He's one of the best running backs in the league. Jonathan Taylor's just better, but that's what I'm going to say there. He's going to be back from injury, and I think this is a prove-it year for Ryan Tannehill this season. The Titans drafted Malik Willis in the draft this year, and he could be their future starter if the Titans get fed up with Tannehill this year. Willis didn't have a really good preseason game the other night, though, as he was 7 of 17 for 80 yards, but he did throw a touchdown. He also took 3 sacks because he just won't throw the ball away. He was running around and just getting sacked. So learn to throw a ball away, dude. Or don't, and Colts can sack you too. So he is the Titans' contingent future at this point, and he should develop well there. They did clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC last year, which still blows my mind to this day. I don't know how you guys did it, but you did. And congrats on that. But you lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, and you sacked them 9 times and still lost. So there's that. They won't be the 1 seed this year, though. I think Tennessee has to rely on their offense to really put up points this year in tough games. They can't rely on Henry to do it all. I know they're going to try. They're going to give it to Henry whenever they can.
Yep.
That's going to put a lot of wear and tear on his body, and that's how he gets hurt. So I hope he doesn't get hurt, though, just so everybody's clear. I have them at 10-7, but they do not win the AFC South this season because we're going to win it. What do you guys have on the Titans?
Yeah, like we said, they shouldn't be the number 1. I don't know how they got the number 1 seed last year. They weren't that good. Well, they were good.
They were decent. They were decent.
They were good, but they weren't the number 1 seed. Especially with you have the Chiefs and the Bills in that conference. I don't know how they got the number 1.
Record-wise, they got there. So
yeah, they won't be nearly as good this year. Like you said, they traded their best wide receiver away. Julio Jones is gone now too. Derrick Henry is going to be used a lot, like you said. But they might push it a little bit too much. But we'll see what Ryan Tannehill does. I mean, he's got some work to do, but yeah, it's gonna be barely over 500 for me.
Where do you have him? You have him at
So
8,
I think I had the Titans and the Colts one game higher before I changed both of their records.
What do you really have them both at?
Yeah, so I mean, what I sent you is what I have them at.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm saying like before that I had. So I think I have the Titans at 10-7. They aren't the same team that they were last year. You guys are bonkers for discrediting how good they were. They were a great football team. They just couldn't execute in the playoffs. I do think that has to do a little bit with Ryan Tannehill and the offense relying too much on Derrick Henry, like
as I was saying right now.
Yeah.
Played in that,
but
game, right?
I mean, I won't discredit them. They were a good football team last year. I think they deserved to be there. They play a lot of smash mouth football when it gets down to it, and they found ways to win games. So no discredit to the Titans last year. This year, it will not be as good. You can't rely on Derrick Henry to do everything, even though he finds ways to do everything. But 10-7 is where we have them. Then that's probably where they'll end up because we know everything.
Yeah, we do. We know everything. All of our records are right, guys. Just so you know. So just subscribe and hit that like button. All that stuff.
Hit that bell.
All right. Now we move on. The number one team in the AFC South. Who's it going to be?
That's not coming through.
The Indianapolis Colts, my favorite team. We have a consensus ranking of 11-6.
And that was the AFC. Let's move on to the NFC.
Go ahead, Casey.
Yeah.
Well, guys, the 2022 edition of QB Carousel with the Colts lands on nothing other than Matt Ryan. I will say that it is an upgrade from Carson Wentz. I think that with Matt Ryan, along with other acquisitions in the offseason, we have a potential to not only win this division, but we can go pretty damn far in the playoffs as well. I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think we can win a few games in the playoffs. I have our ceiling being as high as 13-4 if everything really clicks all year. I don't think we go 13-4 though, as I have us going 11-6, but I still have us winning this division. We have a ton of potential this year, and I hope we come out and prove it in the first few games in Houston, at Clown Town, Jacksonville, and at home at what I think will be our first real test against Kansas City. Lucas Oil Stadium that day will be rocking week 3, and I really look forward to being there for that. My Texan friend, John, will be accompanying me to Lucas Oil Stadium for that game. John, if you wear a Texans jersey, you're fucking psycho. So
do it. Do it.
I say you do it, though. Do it. Do it for the content. All right. What do you guys got in the Colts? Lay it on me.
I mean,
2-15?
Yeah. 0-17.
0-17.
Nah, dude, I'm riding the Colts real high this year. For some reason, excuse me. Casey didn't seem to think that it was a hot take when I said that the Colts would win the division. But that's because he's a Colts fan. The Titans will give you guys a fight in the division. You guys are a great football team. You just got to put it all together.
I agree.
You guys lost the playoffs last year because you did not put it all together and you shit the bed against the Jaguars. So, I mean, you guys just got to come out firing. That's all it is. You guys got to come out firing, and you guys got to play like you want it and not get complacent, and you guys should do just fine this season.
Like I said, I think that Jaguars loss last year has lit a fire under the team.
They better have. I'd be pissed.
Watching them in the preseason, our defense is scary this year.
Good.
Our first defense is awesome. If any of our players get hurt, we're screwed. Because the rest of our team, chalked.
5-12. Never mind.
Yeah. But Steven, what you got in the Colts?
Yeah, I don't see you guys missing the playoffs this year. I don't. If you do,
if we do, I'm gonna cry.
I think that whoever wins the division gets in. The rest of the teams will be out.
I agree with that too.
So you all got to win the damn division.
The AFC is so tough this year that I think most teams are going to have to win their division. The AFC West is just stacked.
Yeah, I think all 3 of the wild card spots
could go to those teams
that aren't division winners will probably have the same record.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I see a lot of wins coming in the AFC this year for a lot of teams. Like I think in our preseason rankings, we had a lot of AFC teams over 10 wins.
I think we actually had 6 AFC teams and 5 NFC teams over 10 wins.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, well, I've said it a couple times throughout that you're either up there or you're at the bottom. There's like no in between this season.
Yeah.
There's just crazy good teams and then there's crazy not good teams.
Yeah. But that's it for the AFC South there. Let's go to the chat. I mean, I know we're not trying to neglect you guys. We're going to answer you guys, but we want to get through these segments first for the editing of the videos that we have to do after this. So, but let's see what we got here.
We're just at Quincy yelling at me because the Giants and Cowboys. And then he said that you are biased because you're a Colts fan. And he thinks that Tennessee will take the division.
And I may have some bias, but some. I'm a pretty realistic Colts fan. This team is stacked this year. Our defense is awesome. If Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan, like old, like not old Matt Ryan, but the older version of Matt Ryan, we'll be okay.
He is old.
Yeah, he is old though. He's getting the Tom Brady status, but I don't know. We'll see
Matt
what
Ryan's a crazy reliable quarterback. Like I wouldn't agree with Casey just to agree with Casey. I do think that the Colts will win the division this year. And like he said, the ceiling is up there because they have a damn good team. They just got to put it all together and stay consistent with it. And
it's like the Cowboys. Execute. They don't have that kill switch.
Honestly, yeah. I think the Colts and the Cowboys are in a very similar boat this year.
Can't wait till we play December 4th. That's going to be a great non-kill switch game.
Jesus Christ. All right.
I'm ready for that game.
Yeah. I'm ready for all the games.
All right. Well, if you guys got nothing in the chat, we're going to move on a little bit here. What do you guys want to do next? We did the South. Well, we have to do the AFC East first because your division is
normally
last.
What we've been doing is we've been doing a South or sorry, an NFC and AFC version of each compass direction each week. But since we are limited on time, next week we're doing our fantasy draft. We have to throw the Eastern divisions into this week's podcast. So we're doing the South and the East, and then we will move on to another in or out like we did last week.
Perfect. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It's number 3 on the bullet points. Boom.
Pick number 3, Malone.
All right. So that's where we're at, guys. Let's go to the AFC East division. The team that we have ranked number 4 in the AFC East is the New York Football Jets. Used to be my grandfather's favorite team. My dad's dad was a huge Jets fan. So, but yeah, pretty crazy, huh?
Fun little fact.
Also, his favorite color was green, and he liked money, and that's why he liked the Jets. He was actually from New York, so.
Hey, I want to let it be known real quick before we get into this segment. The only reason Janeth is an Eagles fan is because of the color green, and I hate her for it.
I mean, I like the color green, but I don't like the Eagles.
Yeah.
Well, so when she was little, like her dad and her were watching, she tells me this story a lot. It was the Vikings against the Eagles. So she picked the Eagles.
Green over purple.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. All right. Well, their consensus rank for the Jets, we have 6 and 11. And I think they're up so high because I think I'm kind of a little bit higher on them than you guys.
I have them at 6 and 11.
You have them. I also think I actually have them at 7 and 10. Daniel, you have them at 6 and 11. And Tony has them at 6 and 11. So that's where the consensus of 6 and 11 came from.
Yeah.
I do really think that the Jets will be much better than last year. As you can see, I have it reflected in my rankings. I have them going 7 and 10. I really like what the Jets did in the draft this year, giving Zach Wilson some premium wide receivers. They also have a decent secondary and a decent offensive line. These are some of the reasons why I have the Jets at 7 and 10. This team will get better this year, but they still have a little ways to go before being playoff contenders. If they keep up what they're doing in the drafts, and their coaching staff they have now is great, they're going to put some great wheels on to put it moving a little later. But yeah, that's what I got on the Jets. What do you guys have on the Jets? Let's start with you, Steven.
Jets would be decent this year. They're not going to be good, but they're not going to be bad. Like you said, they're getting upgraded. Zach Wilson's in his second year now, so he should be much improved. At preseason, it's not looking too good. But I think yesterday he was not doing too well.
That's why they play preseason though, so you can get everything worked out and you work out all the kinks.
Yeah, exactly. But he should be much better this year. Like you said, they have a good secondary. They just got to work on that front seven. Once they work on that, they should be a pretty good team all around. And then, but right now they're still bottom feeders of the AFC East, and we have them at 6-11 for a reason.
Yeah.
What do you got on the Jets, Daniel?
I just want to take time to acknowledge Edward.
That's why I started laughing at the end
Zach
of my
Milfin Wilson, bro.
I looked over because I saw it pop up and I almost
That's
died
awesome.
at the end
Thank
of my
you for
spiel.
That. That is premium content right there. I'd love to see it. Having said that, I think the Jets are going to go 17-0. I have the Jets at 6-11 as well. I think the Jets organization is coming together a lot better than they have been for the past forever. The Jets have not really ever made noise, at least in my lifetime. My 23 years of life, the Jets have never really been too relevant.
I think they've been to an AFC championship in your lifetime. I don't remember when they went, but they've been to the AFC championship.
It was with Mark Sanchez.
One of 23 years, though.
Yeah.
True. You know what I mean?
True.
But, they got there. I'm not trying to discredit the Jets, but their organization is getting better. Like you said, they are drafting better. And, you got Zach Milfin Wilson back there, and he's got some weapons to work with this year. So look out for the New York Jets in 4th place in the division, baby.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. You got Edward laughing about that. So that was a good one, Edward. That was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comedy there.
That was like a lob for me to just, dunk
it.
I like it.
All right.
Teamwork.
Well, let's move on to the number 3 team in our consensus rankings here. At number 3, we have, for probably the first time in a while this team has been here, the New England Patriots with a consensus record of 8-9. Let's move back to the 3-cam scene here. To me, this New England Patriots team is quite frankly the most boring team of all time in the NFL. Is there a person's jersey that you Patriots fans can't wait to buy? I can only think of Mac Jones, and I don't even want his jersey if I'm a fan of your team, which I will never be because you guys suck. So I think the Patriots defense took a step.
6 Super Bowls in 20 years.
Yeah. Well, shut up. They don't have Tom Brady anymore. I think the Patriots took a step back in the offseason and with the loss of Kyle Vanoy and J.C. Jackson. And who knows what this team is going to look like on offense. I have no idea what you guys are going to do. I think they finished 3rd in the division. I have them going 9-8. I just think the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills are better teams right now than these Patriots. So that's what I got on them. As you see Blue stretching in the background. Bye, Blue. What do you guys got on the Patriots?
On the Pats?
Yeah, I don't see them doing too well this year either. I felt like they didn't do anything this year as far as off-season wise. Sorry, Cap. I think they took a step back, and it's like I said, they're going to be a very boring team this year.
They are.
I don't. Yeah. How many primetime games do they have this year? It's that's.
I'm going to give them 3 max.
I don't think anybody will be watching those games really.
Yeah, the AFC East is kind of a weird division this year because the Patriots are going to be a boring team. I'm surprised we have them that high. I have them at 7-10 because there's not a lot of names. There's not a lot of big names in New England. I mean, you have Bill Belichick there. I mean, certified winner. But other than that, I mean,
that's why I gave him the extra.
Mac Jones is, he's not an all-star quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's not an all-star high caliber quarterback like everybody seems to think that he is. Those 2 teams in the bottom I could see interchanging with each other and competing in those divisional rivalries with each other pretty closely. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about the Patriots. They'll be all right.
Yeah, they'll compete in some games, but they're not going to do a lot this year. They're definitely not making the playoffs this year, for sure.
Yeah.
That's not happening. So we'll move on to the next team on our AFC East ranking board. Number 2 team we have is the Miami Dolphins with a consensus ranking of 10-7. So I actually have the Dolphins right at 10-7. I think we all pretty much have them at 10-7 except Daniel. Daniel has them at 9-8. So that's the only real difference there. We'll start with you, Daniel, if you want to start with the Dolphins.
I mean, so you got the addition of Tyreek Hill over there with Jalen Waddle.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me just settle in for this.
Story time.
My beef with the Dolphins lies within Tua Tagovailoa.
Mine too.
I just don't know, like he's a good quarterback, but like, I hope that he can capitalize on his weapons that he has on the offensive side. Their defense should do decently this year. They should be okay on the defensive end of it. Should hold teams pretty low in scoring, at least under 20 points per game. But Miami's a solid team. I don't know. Like I said, this division's really weird, and I think a lot of the division rivalries could go either way, except against Buffalo. But yeah, that's why I don't have them at 10 wins. I have them at 9-8. It's going to be a tight division. I feel like that could go any which way for the bottom 3 teams.
Yeah. The Dolphins have done everything they can to possibly make Tua successful this season.
Yeah.
They got Armstead in the offseason in free agency, and they picked up Tyreek Hill. If Tua does not do good this year, the Dolphins don't do well overall. And the Dolphins don't do well overall because of it. I think that Tua will not be Miami's quarterback next year. As Daniel said, bye.
Sorry for cutting you into
No, it's okay. Now, I do think that this team has a lot of talent on it, and they address the offensive line problems from last year in the offseason. Tua will have time to throw the football. They will have a running game because they added Mostert, and they added somebody else. Just can't think of it off the top of my head here. And they should be good enough to make the playoffs this year. I have them at 10-7, and I have them as a playoff team. Steven, where do you got the Dolphins?
I have them at 10-7. It's like you said, they're pretty good on defense. The main question is that offense, that quarterback situation. If Tua doesn't perform, he's out next year for sure. Because I don't think the Dolphins will have patience to try and get him with all those weapons that they just got him. So we'll see what they do overall. They should be good, but like Daniel said, all 3 of those teams on the bottom can easily flip-flop.
I want to go through something really quick. The Miami Dolphins running back arsenal is nuts. You have Chase Edmonds as your starter. You have Raheem Mostert at the 2-back. Sony Michel is still there, and Myles Gaskin is the 4 on their roster right now. That's a crazy running back lineup.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. They got a running game now, like I said.
I mean, if Tua plays terrible, you got Teddy Bridgewater to back him up. So
he did pretty well with the
Teddy Bridgewater is pretty good.
He's not a bad player at all.
He was with the Broncos last year, no?
Yes.
I don't think that was last year. I think that was 2 years ago.
Bridgewater was with the Saints last year.
Because Drew Lock was the quarterback last year in Denver.
Who was the quarterback for the Broncos last year?
Drew Lock.
No.
Yes. He got traded in the Russell Wilson trade.
Drew Lock got traded with Russell Wilson. He is now in Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Bridgewater was with New Orleans last year.
Who played the Cowboys?
With Denver?
Yeah.
It was Drew Lock.
No, it wasn't.
Google it, Steven. I don't know. Don't ask us questions you aren't ready to ask.
I was ready to ask that question.
Or that you don't know the answer to?
Anybody in the chat? Does anybody in the chat know for sure? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Teddy Bridgewater. I know that.
It was Teddy Bridgewater.
Was it?
Yeah. He was 19 of 18.
I thought he was with the Saints last year.
Maybe that was 2 years ago.
Probably. I don't know. Who cares?
We got our
Teddy
ears
Bridgewater.
confused. Okay. Well, Steven's right. We're all wrong.
Yep, we all suck. Steven remembers things that happens with the Cowboys and the Dallas Stars.
That's true.
So.
Steven's memory is fucking...
Yeah.
I could never.
Anyway, we're going to move on.
To the
Number one
Bills.
team in our consensus rankings here, which shouldn't be a surprise to really anybody. Our number one ranked team is the Buffalo Bills with a consensus record of 13-4. I think that's the highest consensus record we have of any team this year.
Yeah, consensus for sure.
The Bills should have the best odds of any team to win the Super Bowl this year, as they should. I think this team, as I've said, is on a revenge tour, and I think they're going to make a lot of noise this season, and I think that they're going to... I think they're going to make a lot of noise this season, and I think they're going to make it hard to stop any... They're going to be hard to stop in any game. Sorry, my dog's whining at me and he kind of threw me off here.
It's okay. Cap's the same way
Yeah.
right now. Look.
This team doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, and with Josh Allen running things, they will be locked and loaded to make a Super Bowl run. The Bills do have a tough schedule this year, but they should be favored in most, if not all, the games. I have them at 13-4 and winning the AFC East. Steven?
Sorry, Cap's distracting me right now. Yeah, Bills, they're going to be great. Super Bowl contenders easily. They've got that potent offense. They've got a great defense. Easily going to win that division. Should go all the way. They're going to be on a revenge tour from last year, from that overtime game. So look out for them to possibly win their first Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm. Daniel, you and the Bills.
I just want you to take a moment to look at what I'm doing.
Why are you flipping a coin? Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there.
Huh. Dude, the Buffalo Bills are coming out this year, guns blazing. 13-4. They're if I'm any team in the NFL this year, I do not want to play the Buffalo Bills. They are stacked beyond belief. You have a perfect quarterback in Josh Allen. I already said it before. That guy has no problem. Like, there's nothing bad about him
at all.
I mean, he can sling it in there. He can throw it a mile. He's mobile. He's also like 6'6", 6'5". I don't get it. He's a freak. Their defense is. Casey, you mentioned before that I don't know if you said it right now because I went to go get a coin for the memes, but
6'5", by the way.
Yeah. Casey, you said that it's probably the most well-rounded team this season, and I could not agree more with you.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Bills should win the Super Bowl, and I mean, the only other team that I'd want to win the Super Bowl this year is the Cowboys. But, we got to see.
Like I said, Buffalo has a 2-year clock. If they don't win in the next 2 years, they're frauds.
Yep.
So that's what I got on the Buffalo Bills there.
Yeah. So we were saying earlier how Dallas and Indy have all the talent that they could want. They just need to execute with it.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills are better than both of those teams. They're in that position that they need to execute, but they're better than the Cowboys and the Colts. Like, they're the best team in the league, but they just need to execute and, choose the right coin flip.
True.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But we got all that right there. But yeah, the Bills definitely Super Bowl contenders, and I think that they're the team to beat this year, like everybody else was talking about. We missed anything in the chat over here before we move on to your division? I'm trying to share off that we're talking about your division.
Edward said laces
right
out and they'll get in the playoffs.
I think that was for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Laces out.
Laces out. Dan.
Hang on, I'm sharing off that we're about to go talk about the NFC East here.
While Casey's sharing out tweets to make sure that we get everyone in here to watch, make sure you all are subscribed to the channel. Those of you that are, we appreciate the hell out of you. We love you guys. We hope to see you guys back next week. And we hope you guys will check out our videos throughout the week of it's our live stream cut up into segments. But, if you guys have friends that get into fantasy football or they like to talk fantasy football, like, send them the videos, dude. Like, chat with them about it. Like, ask them what they think about certain things. Quincy thinks that the Giants are going to do, like, I don't know, they're going to go 13-4 this season for some reason. Saquon Barkley's probably going to get hurt again, and Daniel Jones will probably trip at the 20-yard line again in every game. So, but yeah, make sure you guys share it out. Show some love for you boys. We appreciate you all being here. I think Casey is ready to move into the NFC East.
That I am. Are you guys ready to move into the NFC East? Because it's the last division we have to cover.
I've been waiting 3 weeks for this shit.
We have covered every single division except this one, and this one is last because I think it's going to be the most fiery.
Hey, it's the only division.
Y'all grab your popcorn.
Every team to win a Super Bowl. So let's go.
And nobody cares about that stat, Steven.
Wait, what? What did you say?
He said the only division that's all the teams have won a Super Bowl.
That's a pretty cool stat. I didn't know that.
That is a cool stat.
So I know that all of them have one.
The Eagles decided to join that club. That's why.
In mine, we're the only team to win a Super Bowl. So there's that. I don't want the other teams in my division.
There's a lot of teams that haven't won Super Bowls, and people tend to forget that.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Like, I get it. I've never seen a Cowboy Super Bowl, and we'll see how long it takes for that to happen.
You think therapy could probably help with that too?
I don't
With
know.
what?
How about that Jags loss last year? Did that help?
Oh man, he had to go there. He had to go there.
Anyways, let's go.
All right, let's do this. We are diving in to the NFC East. Team number 4 is the New York Giants. We have a consensus ranking on the Giants. I'm a lot more higher on the Giants, I think, than all of you guys. But we have them at a consensus ranking of 5 and 12. I actually have them at 6 and 11. Not that much higher, but Daniel, we will start with you, man.
I am pulling up. I have a lot of notes for the NFC East, so hold on.
I think you and your buddy Kui will be going back and forth here. Kui, if you're here, this is the time to get in on this because we're going over the Giants.
Yeah, Quincy, if you're still here, I think the Giants are headed in the right direction. I still hate them. I hate every team in this division. Let's just be very abundantly clear about that. I hate you all. I'm not going to say just kidding either. I hate all the teams in this division. Anyway, I have the Giants down at 4-13 this year. They only had 3 wins last season. They do have a new head coach this year and a GM. Both came, I forgot again which, it's either Cincinnati or Buffalo. It was Cincinnati. Okay, I don't know why I keep blanking on that, but they have a new head coach. They have a new GM. Like I had mentioned before, I feel like the Giants are climbing out of a pit that they have been in where they just weirdly struggle. And I say weirdly struggle because they have a lot of talent on their team. They just can't use it for some weird reason. Daniel Jones is a great quarterback, in my opinion. I don't think he's like an all-star quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, though. He can sling it in there, and he's like weirdly fast. That dude can run.
Actually, he himself. That's how fast he is.
It is Buffalo. You were right because Daniel Jones now has the coach that coached Josh Allen.
There you go.
So there you go.
Okay, so Buffalo's old head coach and GM now in New York. But yeah. I think the Giants could start making their way back into playoff hunts in the next, I don't want to say next year, but in the next couple of years. I think the Giants will start progressing more toward winning seasons again. I think they're headed in the right direction. This year, unfortunately, is not ready for that. Casey, you might be upset about this, but I have the Giants taking the Colts on New Year's Day in New York. Most teams will have at least one fluke game of the season. You guys like to do it at the end of the year. So I gave them that win right before the last game of the season. I got the Giants at 4-13 this year. Steven, we'll go to you.
Yeah. Like you said, the Giants are starting to trend in the right direction for the first time in, I think, a couple of years. If Daniel Jones can improve this year and if Saquon can stay healthy, that offense will be pretty good because they have some good wide receivers. That defense is just a question mark for them, I think, personally. Other than that, I have them at 5-12, so they should be better than last year, but they'll still be bottom feeders of the East.
I only gave them one more win than last year, but they're on proving grounds for me this year.
I do agree with you guys. I definitely think the Giants will be the worst team in the division this year, as I have them going 6-11, finishing last in your division. But they also have a lot of question marks. Saquon Barkley hasn't stayed healthy the past few years. Is Daniel Jones the guy in New York? Personally, I don't think so. Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney caught a total of 0 touchdowns last year.
They were both hurt.
You can't lower the bar any lower. I mean, yeah, I know they're both hurt, but
Limbo.
I mean, they both had 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's rough.
They will have some touchdowns this year. Their schedule isn't that difficult this year, but it can be for them. Their division games will tell a lot about this team, and I have them going 6-11. Like always, your division games are super competitive, and that's why you guys always get them on prime time. So we'll see what happens.
The NFC East is a toss-up no matter what. Who's on what team? Those games are always a toss-up. It pisses me off.
How many years has it been since there's been a back-to-back winner? Didn't we look this up?
Oh, it was 2003.
2003 is the last time there's been a back-to-back winner.
From 2001 to 2004, the Eagles won every one of those years because I think they had Donovan McNabb and that crazy Eagles team.
They did.
Ned Tio.
After 2004, there has not been a consecutive division winner in the NFC East.
Cowboys have a chance to change that this year. So
God, I hope so.
But we'll move on to the number 3 team in the NFC East, which is the Washington Commanders. See, I got the name right, guys. We have a consensus record on the Commanders of 8-9. Let's see. What do the Washington Commanders do in the offseason? Well, I know they didn't get a new owner, so there's that. Wasn't there a rumor that they were going to vote him out in the offseason?
Yeah, they won't do that.
They did vote, didn't they? Or was it a rumor?
Jerry Jones is not going to give up 2 free wins every year. Let's be honest.
That's true. Yeah, he pretty much runs it. This is a team where I can't put my finger on them, as I just don't know what they're going to do this year. I could see them having a really bad season, and I can see them doing decent and possibly maybe almost making the playoffs. We'll see. But they got Carson Wentz in the offseason from the Colts. Thank you, Washington, for doing that. I hate him. On defense, I hate him and his ankles.
Yeah, I think he hates his ankles now, too.
Just to be clear, I don't hate Carson Wentz. I just hate the way he played for us and when we needed him, because that's why we got him. So it's whatever. But on defense, they get Chase Young returning from an injury, and that will help them a lot. They do have a tough schedule, but not knowing what their offense and their defense will do this year, I can't give them a winning record, as I have them going 7-10. But they are one of those teams that could surprise people this year. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what Carson Wentz does over there in Washington. Daniel, what do you got on the Commanders?
I mean, you're pretty on the nail with it. I think we're in like super agreeance here with they're just a toss-up team. I mean, you had Carson Wentz and his broken ankles. They did address some defensive needs this offseason. They didn't get rid of their owner, but their D-line did beef up a little bit. I have them at 9-8. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and giving them a couple of divisional wins. I have them actually not beating Dallas at any point, but I have them beating Philly in Philly week 10. And then I have them sweeping the Giants because the Giants are only going to win 4 games anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it's just weird, man. That whole organization has been kind of in shambles the past like 3 years with their quarterback situations and the changing of their team names and not figuring out what's going on. I just don't know with them. They'll be one of those teams to just watch throughout the season and see how they play out,
how they perform.
Yeah.
Steven, what you got on Washington?
Yeah, they're just so hard to
pinpoint.
Just get a good temperature on. Really, like how good are they going to be on offense? I mean, they got Carson Wentz,
best quarterback they've had in a few years, though.
Yeah, so, and even then, that's still not saying much.
Exactly.
Honestly,
their reliability went from like 2% to 18%.
Yeah,
and it's a pretty big jump from 2%. So.
I mean, and then Washington has a really bad curse about breaking legs on their field. So who knows?
Dude,
on the same yard line on the same day, I think.
I want to talk about Carson Wentz and his ankles real quick. Aaron Donald is a bear. Like he's like a human form grizzly bear.
Is he a small bison?
No, you're the small bison. I just like, how do you break both of your ankles? Like this guy sprinting at you, running like a sub 5-second 40, but he also weighs like 275 pounds. It's just horrifying.
I saw it happen live in my stadium.
I feel
it was awesome.
So bad for Carson.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we lost that game, but whatever.
Yeah. The Commanders, I don't know. Like their defense, like. The year before, they were the best defense in the NFC East, and last year they were one of the worst. And it's just so hard to. It's just hard to get a good gauge on him.
Carson Wentz just hasn't been the same since he lost his virginity. So,
all right. Well, on that note, we're gonna move on into the second-ranked team here. Second-ranked team we have is the Philadelphia Eagles. And our consensus ranking is 11-6. I will say we all tied the teams. So me and Tony had them 11-6. I think you guys have them 10-7.
I have them 11-6.
You have them 11-6? Well, they tied. The Cowboys and the Eagles had the same amount of votes. We just had to give it to the Cowboys because they won the division last year. So that's why we have them up above. But Daniel, you hate the Eagles. Steven, I'm sure you hate the Eagles.
Steven, you can go first.
Steven, let's start with you.
Yeah, and there's a Jeanette right there. in the comments.
That's why I threw that out there, because she's always telling me that that's why Carson Wentz is trash now. She misses Nick Foles.
All right, Steven, tell us what you think of the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles, they're much improved from last year. They made the playoffs last year, and they almost gave Tampa Bay a run for their money in that game. We were watching it at the Cowboy game while it was happening, and they got much improved, so they'll be fighting for that division pretty good with the Cowboys this year. I still see the Cowboys pulling it just one game ahead, but it's scary.
Well, the Eagles in the offseason had a great draft by getting Jordan Davis, who is a monster. But they also have the trade of the draft by getting A.J. Brown from the Titans.
That guy's a literal monster.
Yeah.
In case anyone was curious.
Yeah. I think the question mark this year for Philadelphia is Jalen Hurts. Is he Philadelphia's future quarterback? I think he has all the talent in the world to be the quarterback for future years, but we shall see what he does this year and what should be a really good Philadelphia Eagles team.
You thought he had all the talent in the world when you fucking played him in that last game of the season, huh?
Yeah. Okay. That was.
Sorry, I'm throwing slander.
2 years ago.
Fantasy football slander.
Let's
I'm
go
sorry.
doing stuff from 2 years ago.
Cool. Keep going. Sorry.
I have them winning the division at 10-7 in a tiebreaker with the Cowboys. These Cowboy-Eagle games are going to be fun to watch on TV. But, Daniel, I went second, so you can go last. Because I know you hate the Eagles.
Oh, God. It gets juicy, you know?
Make it juicy.
Oh. Wow. All right. So, Philly, agreed. Their offseason was nuts. That makes me very upset.
Have fun with A.J. Brown.
Yeah, you got A.J. Brown in there. Got him out of your division, and you're welcome.
We still play him this year, so.
Of the Eagles. I'm terrified, honestly. I'm so scared. I can't say it enough times. I mentioned it earlier in the weeks of our show that the Eagles defense did not perform very well last year. Edward, Jesus Christ. It's not okay. We do not wish injuries on anyone this year, but that's pretty funny. No, but like the turnovers last year that the Eagles did have, they were able to capitalize on. Their defense scored a lot of points last year. Like in coordinates with like the amount of turnovers that they did have, they scored a lot off of them. I think they will improve this year. I think they will have not a much better defense, but a better defense. Well, no, much better defense. Their offensive line is stacked now. Or their defensive line is stacked now. So their defense should beef up a lot. Anybody that doesn't know who Jordan Davis is, he is a defensive lineman out of Georgia. And I just want to I'm going to look up like his size real quick because I want you guys to understand how terrifying this human being is. Give me just a second here. Where is he? Weight and height. This dude is 6'6" and 340 pounds of beef.
Imagine that running at you.
Dude is a monster, and he can move. He can move. Like you make Aaron Donald a grizzly bear. This guy is like polar bear. It's terrifying. But yeah, the Eagles will be really scary this year. I have them going 11-6. They will split the series with Dallas, winning their home game. Dallas will win their home game. But yeah, I'm terrified to play them.
Well, like I always say, that's why we play the games.
Why we play the games. I'm gonna start counter on that.
We should get that's gonna be our first shirt that we ever make. That's why they play.
That's why they play the games. But
I like that idea.
Steven, you got your sense in on the Eagles, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the first one.
All right, let's go to the number one team, which
y'all can go ahead because I'm gonna go off.
We know who it is. So it's the Dallas Cowboys, and we have them at 11-6 consensusly. Steven, I'll let you start.
It's
His mic's speaking, so the claps aren't coming in.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk. Yeah. Cowboys, yeah. After watching last night's game, I know preseason doesn't matter, but they looked a little better.
A little.
I mean, that's a little. I mean, they have their future kick returner now in Turpin. I mean, that guy was just amazing to watch last night.
He was good at TCU.
Yep. He's with him, Tony Pollard waiting for kickoff returns. It's gonna be fun to watch kickoffs. But anyways, Cowboys, they did lose a little talent offensively and defensively this year, but they should still be top of the division, I think. But like I said, that Eagles Cowboys matchup, those are gonna be fun to watch. Like you said, Casey.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to see the Colts play the Cowboys this year.
Can't wait for that game. So
Talk your
it'll be so
shit,
much
Casey.
fun.
Let's hear it.
I'm not gonna. No, well, I might talk a little shit. But your Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys lost Amari Cooper to the Browns. You guys overpaid Ezekiel Elliott a few years ago. Do you think he'll return to form this year?
He'll get better.
I think he will. He was a little beat up last year. Okay, no.
You saw him get hurt.
I'm
going to
start just going, and I'm not going to be able to stop. It's just
okay, well, let me finish then.
Cowboys, go ahead.
Let me finish. A lot of people have the Cowboys winning their division this year. I think the Eagles are the better team and will snatch it from them, and you will not have a back-to-back winner in the NFC East this year again. However many years it is. I think with some of the teams that you play, your floor could be 8-9, but I definitely don't see that happening, as I have them going 10-7. But I think your ceiling is where you have them, Daniel. They could go 12-5. I think the Cowboys have a talented team, but people shouldn't be surprised if they don't win the division like they think they're going to win, and don't be surprised if they don't win as many games as they think they're going to win. That being said, I have them at 10-7. Daniel, I will let you take the floor.
Beautiful.
Here we go.
All right. So I'm going to go straight into talking about Zeke real quick because he gets a lot of bad slander, and I don't understand why. He had one bad season 2 years ago when Dak went down and his season just kind of fluked. There's a lot of chemistry built between him and Zeke. They're like brothers, and it like seeing him go down like that, I think it took a lot emotionally out of Zeke, and it took him out of a lot of the games. That's not an excuse for an NFL caliber player. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. He did have a bad season. Having said that, every other season that he has been in the league, he's eaten. He has been fed, and he has eaten. Like last year, I think he almost broke 1,000 rushing yards if he didn't. I don't know if he did or not, but he was close. He was also injured. That's why Tony Pollard got so many more snaps. Tony Pollard is a great compliment to having Zeke back there. Go ahead. You look like you have the stats up.
He had 1,002 yards.
He had 1,002 yards, 1,000-yard rushing season.
237 attempts.
Still, that's with Tony Pollard complimenting him back there. You know, They ran a lot last year. Zeke was hurt. I think he returns to form this season. He's been working out a lot. He looks like he's lost a lot of weight, and he's leaned out a little bit. I want to take a step here backwards, and I want to be realistic as a Cowboys fan. The Eagles could 100% win the division. There is no questioning that. I don't want to be that guy that says this is our year. Like realistically, I'll say it to fuck with some people because it's funny. But the players that the Cowboys lost, I think they filled in a lot of those gaps. Besides the wide receiver position, you're not going to replace an Amari Cooper because he's Amari Cooper and he's just that guy. Crazy wide receiver. I think CeeDee Lamb steps in and fills in the shoes for the wide receiver one. Zeke gets back to form. Tony Pollard compliments him. They have a great rushing tandem season. You have not Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert?
Yep.
The Jalen Tolbert back there. Who was the guy running back kicks yesterday?
Turpin.
Yeah.
Devonta Turpin.
Homeboy ran back
Turpentine.
a punt return and a kick return in the same game. 98-yard kickoff return and a 73-yard punt return in the same game. I don't care if it's preseason. It's the NFL. That shit's crazy. So I'm seeing a lot of improvement in Dallas throughout the preseason, just the two short games that they've played. The first game was god-awful. The second game, they took the Chargers down. The Chargers are a really good team. Granted, it is, second and third string players, but that makes me feel very comfortable in having depth in our team. Final thing I want to say about the Cowboys, they have to do two things, as Steven had mentioned before. They have to execute, and they have to get ahead early in their games, there's so many times, and I hate it with all my heart, that the Cowboys fall behind by like 2-3 touchdowns. They find ways to come back somehow. I don't get it.
Guys saw it firsthand in the playoff game last year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they did not have enough to get back into it. So, I mean, there you go. Like, they just need to get ahead of their games and stay ahead because, like we mentioned earlier in this stream, the Cowboys have all the potential in the world. They just need to use it and execute. Go Cowboys. I'm excited for our season. I have them going 12-5. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to believe in them because I am a Cowboys fan. Everybody else in the chat that has talked shit, we'll see you at the end of the season. You can talk more shit. If not, like if they do bad, you can talk more shit. But if Cowboys make it into playoffs and win the division, I want an apology from everyone.
I will never apologize.
That's true. But yeah, go Cowboys. I love them. They upset me a lot, but that's why we play the games.
I thought that was going to be a lot more spicier. I thought you were going to go off on a tangent there, but you kind of did, but it wasn't like like that'll probably be regular season when you guys lose a game or something like that.
Probably.
Kind of funny. Well, let's go to the chat.
That's really...
Jalen Hurts breaking his ankles. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen, Edward. The only way Dallas survives at the end of the NFC East is if they close their games with getting leads early and never letting off the gas. That's exactly what Daniel said.
I'm saying it. Yep. Beautiful.
Exactly what Daniel said. Sure does sound like you're making excuses. Enjoy your last year with him. 9-8. It's my dad's predictions for you.
Yep. Talking about Zeke.
Last year was Zeke.
Who is your dad's team?
He doesn't have one.
Brett Favre.
Opinion invalid. Hubert. I'm not going to say get out of the chat because we do want you here, but opinion invalid because you don't have a football team. We can fight about it if you want.
His favorite. He tells me his favorite team every week is the team that plays the Cowboys. He's a Cowboy hater.
Oh, he's one of those.
He's
That's
one of
what
those.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have a team, but hates the Cowboys because he can't figure it out. I guess I don't know. I don't know what's going on with those kind of people, but pick a team at least.
They just want to watch the world burn, Daniel.
Get some help.
Oh, the world will burn when the Cowboys win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the world's going to end if you ever win the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm not ready.
Sometimes
for
I
that
think
day.
about that. Like,
Josh Bittinger says that he's going to make it like the worst day of my life, but it's funny because I don't hate the Cowboys. He thinks I hate them, but he just likes to say that because they don't ever win. Because he's like, "This is our year. We're going to the Super Bowl. Feed Zeke."
Yeah. I get it.
I was like, God damn. He annoys
It's
me
because
sometimes.
everybody that's not a Cowboys fan traditionally hates the Cowboys because of the Cowboys fan base, and I understand it 100%. There's a side of, there's like a split. It's like a 70-30 split. Like the 70% is like horrible, annoying Cowboy fans. And then the 30% are the realistic fans that actually want to see the team do good and play well, and they actually follow through, and they're realists, Like I said earlier, I mean, the Eagles could wholeheartedly win the fucking division. I wouldn't surprise me. I'd be upset because I hate them and I love the Cowboys, but like it wouldn't surprise me. They're a good ass team, so
yeah, they got some talent there. All right. Chat, we are going into in or out of playoffs. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to name some teams here. We did it last week, and it was kind of a hit. I want your all's opinions. When I name a team, you either put in the chat in or out. I'm going to get their opinions as well, and you'll hear mine as well.
I just real quick, the chat's a little bit delayed, but still put your in or out in there because there's like a 10-second delay on the stream just because of encoding and whatnot. But we still want to hear what you guys think about it. So we'll give our take, and then we'll try to get caught up with you guys. But either way, it'll still be there. So,
Edward, I am not a Cowboy fan at all. Like, eat shit. All right, in or out? Let's go. First team I have on in or out. Actually, me and Daniel came up with these teams last night. Teams that we think could be on the verge of making the playoffs and may or may not make the playoffs. We did a few teams last week, and I think we are doing the rest of the teams this week because we can't do any more in or outs with the terrible teams that are left. So, first team, Philadelphia Eagles. We just talked about them. Where do we have the Eagles? In the playoffs or out of the playoffs?
I think they're in on the wild card. because we just went over that. I said that the Cowboys were winning the division, so I can't give them the division wins. So give them the wild card.
Steven?
Yeah, they'll be in. If they win the division or not, they'll be in their wild card spot just like last year. But they should be a better.
Daniel, your girlfriend Jeanette says in.
Yeah, I know.
In.
Big surprise.
Have them winning your division. In. Wouldn't it be some shit? You guys have them in the wild card, but wouldn't it be some shit if the wild card game was Cowboys Eagles?
I told Jeanette that too, that's probably gonna happen.
It's happened before.
Gonna be hell. Because if the Cowboys get into the words, there's words formulating in my head, but they're not working.
They're not coming out.
Jesus. If the Cowboys win the division, well, if either of them win the division, actually, I could see the other team being the wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about that now,
could happen.
I they'll probably be not the 4 seed, but maybe a 3. I don't know. We'll see.
I think
Depends on what everybody else does.
I think it's how Tampa does. Will depend on that.
Yeah, Tampa could win that division, be a 4 seed still, because I don't know. We can see what happens, but Jeanette in. Edward says out. Edward, do you realistically think the Eagles are missing out on the playoffs? I want to know that. Schuster, Eagles in. I think he has the Eagles winning the division. So if he says in.
Well, he said the Cowboys are going 9-8. So.
Yeah. But Edward, let me know in the chat. Do you realistically think, reach deep down into your soul, do you think the Eagles are missing the playoffs? Because I think you're nuts. So next team we'll move on. Comes out of the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings.
Eesh, that's tough.
If they don't win the division, no.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no. Just gonna flat out say no.
Just curious, what division do you guys think is going to have a second team in besides your division, which it sounds like
the NFC West might have 3.
Well, if the NFC West has 3, then you guys don't get another one in.
Well, no, you'll have the Rams,
you'll have
the winner, the Rams winning, and then you have 2 wild cards, and then you have
the Cowboys,
the East wild card.
So one more. Okay, so that's what you guys think,
right?
I have them in.
Possibly.
I think the Vikings are going to win the NFC North this year over the Packers because the Packers are kind of decimated with their team this year. They do have Aaron Rodgers still, but I don't think they have enough firepower to keep up with the Vikings. But like I said in past streams, the Vikings always look really, really good on paper, and then they have a way to disappoint everybody. So we'll see what happens. Steven, what do you think?
I said out unless they win the division.
Out unless they win the division?
Yeah.
Janess says out. Edward said them. I don't know what that means there, but okay. We'll move on to the next team, the New Orleans Saints.
Dude, I'm excited to see the Saints.
This is where it gets tough. I actually think whoever finishes 1-2 here, so it could be Tampa Bay up top, New Orleans right behind them. I think it could be the Saints or the Buccaneers that get the wild card. I don't think.
Well, I think if they take that, then they would take one from the NFC West.
Yeah, I don't think the NFC West is going to get 3 teams in the playoffs.
Because I
just don't think that's going to happen.
If there were 3 teams in, it would be
the Rams, the 49ers,
the Rams, the Niners,
Cardinals,
and the Cardinals. Yeah. Who's the 4th? There's the Seahawks is the 4th team in that.
Seahawks
division, right?
aren't going anywhere this year, so
I don't see them in there. But that's why we play the games. I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says that.
I told you. There
Perfect.
You
go. Steven?
See, the problem is I have the Vikings going 11-6 and the Saints going 10-7. So with that logic,
realistically, you have to have them out.
Yeah.
And you say out, Daniel, because of your NFC West logic?
Yeah, I'm gonna give them the out just because of the fact that Tom Brady is in their division.
That's another factor there.
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I'm not gonna do it. I refuse to do that ever again.
Janeth says they're out.
He's gone.
Vikings out, says Schuster. So he thinks the Vikings are out.
Janeth's talking about the Vikings also.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. So
Casey, you said you think the Vikings will win the division.
I think they win the division and they're in the playoffs. They host a playoff game. I don't think
we beat you 2-1. Vikings out.
Vikings out. Seahawks are playing for number 1 draft pick this year. I don't think they're that bad.
I don't think that bad.
I don't think they're that bad, but it's
10,
not
maybe?
out of the realm of possibilities here. So they got Drew Lock or Geno Smith as their quarterback here, but they do have DK Metcalf
and
the Falcons.
and the Falcons are fighting for that number 1 spot.
Texans, Falcons, there's probably another team in that mix.
The Lions.
The Lions.
Possibly, potentially, just because they're the Lions.
Speaking of bad teams, the next team we have here is the Carolina Panthers.
No. Out.
You don't think Baker Mayfield can lead them to the promised land, Steven?
No.
Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey?
No. He doesn't have the offense that he had in Cleveland. No.
Yeah, I mean, but really, everybody thought they were going to the Super Bowl in Cleveland, too, and they didn't go anywhere.
I know. They barely made the playoffs.
Yeah. I told people years ago that Cleveland team was not going to the playoffs. And everybody thought it was
Anybody
nuts.
that actually believed that was just...
Nuts.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Browns.
I'm pretty sure I know what your answer is, Daniel, but Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, I'm going to say out. They have to perform to 99.9% of their ability to get in.
Yeah, I think they're out as well, and I don't even think there's
Everything
a
has to go right for
snowball's
them.
chance in hell they make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
At all.
Everything has to go right for them, and everything has to go wrong for the rest of their division for them to get in.
The whole division has to pretty much not exist for the Panthers to get in the playoffs, is what Daniel's trying to say.
pretty
So,
much.
Juicer says Saints in, go Baker out. Dang, you're saying go Baker?
Dude, I love Baker Mayfield.
Well, hang on. He's saying go Baker, but Baker played for OU. My dad is a huge Longhorn fan, so oof. John says Panthers out. Janeth says Panthers out. Let's move on to the next team. Team we've been talking about, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Say they don't win the division. Say there's a scenario where they don't win the division. Are they in or out?
I still think that they'll win enough games to make the playoffs if they don't win the division, pushing one of the West teams out.
Here's the thing.
if they
Go ahead.
go ahead, Jinx. If this, God, I'm doing the word thing again. I'm tired. I'm sorry. If the Buccaneers, Jesus Lord, if the Bucks don't win that division, the Saints are gonna have to win 12 games.
Yeah.
So like that was my whole thing with the Saints in that division is they'll have to just blow everyone out of the water. But again, I'm not gonna bet against Tom Brady, so win.
Here's the thing. I think that whoever the second place team, whether it be the Saints or the Buccaneers, I think both of them get in. I think they're both in.
I could see it.
I know you say you think you have 3 teams from the West getting in.
I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but
scenario.
that's like a big possibility.
It is possible. Not out of the realm of possibilities. I just don't think the Cardinals are going to the playoffs this year. They have to actually finish their games. So, yeah, I'm very not.
They have to finish their season.
Yeah, they have to finish their season. They have to do what the Colts didn't do last year.
Kyler Murray has to not pre-order Call of Duty.
Janeth says in still for the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
John says in regardless of a division win. So, John, you think whoever wins the NFC South between the Saints and the Buccaneers, the second place team's getting in no matter what?
I think he's guaranteeing the Bucks in at least, but I'm not. Well, I don't know if he's saying
regardless if they win the division or not.
Yeah, he's saying the Bucks will get in for sure, but like if the Saints didn't win the division, I don't know if he'd be sold on that.
John, if the Saints don't win the division, but they get second, do you think they're in?
We'll wait.
My dad says agree with Daniel. Don't bet against Brady, and that's why he's been doing forever. He's been betting against Brady and losing, so that's why he's like, I can't go against Brady. All right, we'll move on to the next team. I'll wait for the chat here. The next team is the Baltimore Ravens out of the AFC. The next 3 teams are AFC teams.
Yeah. So wait, that division always confuses me. It's the Ravens, the Steelers,
the Browns, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengals are in there. That's what it is.
The Browns.
Shit.
See, I have them going 12-5.
Yeah, I have them pretty up there. I'm gonna say in.
I have them in as well.
I think I have them in.
I have them 11-6 in. I think
I had them at that too.
I think any AFC team this year has to win at least 10 games to get in the playoffs because the AFC is going to be nuts this year.
I think they have to win 11.
That's the thing that like made me kind of second guess it is just the AFC in general, but I think the top 2 teams in that division get a playoff spot.
The Bengals. And the Ravens.
But yeah, the Bengals and the Ravens because the other 2 teams aren't getting in the playoffs. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
or doing better than the other teams.
I have the Ravens in. I have them tying the Bengals at 11-6 in wins, but the Bengals have the tiebreaker, and they have the 5, 6, 7 seed instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, goes up to 7 now, right? Because they extended it.
Yeah, there's 3 wild card teams.
That's right.
Everybody plays a wild card game except for the 1 seed.
The 1 seed gets the bye now. Schuster says in. He thinks they're in. We'll move on to the next team, the Los Angeles Chargers. This is another one of those divisions.
Yeah, that's an AFC thing too.
Go Chargers.
That's so the West divisions for me this year are the divisions that have the most potential. Like collectively as a division, 3 of the teams in those divisions should have winning records, if not over 9 wins at least.
I wouldn't be surprised if all those teams have winning records, but like I said, I have the Raiders finishing 4th at 8-9, Broncos going 9-8, Chiefs 11-6. I have the Chargers winning the division at 11-6. So,
yeah, that it's a big proving year for the Chargers, man.
They've got weapons, man. They got some weapons.
They do. They've had weapons. That's the thing, is they've had the weapons. They just can't. I mean, the Chiefs the Chiefs are the Chiefs, so that's a big mountain to overcome. But I'm gonna take I'm gonna take them winning the division on that end, because I think the Chiefs fall back a little bit, and I think the Chargers come up and do it.
Yeah, like I said, I have them in winning the division. Steven, where do you have them?
I have them in. They'll be good. They shouldn't be fighting for a playoff spot. I think they should easily make the playoffs, honestly. Even in that tough division. We'll see.
Well, in the AFC this year, there's nothing coming easy to anybody.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed in the AFC because
I mean, nothing's guaranteed ever in the NFL, but
really good teams this year in the AFC.
Yeah.
But got one more team here. Also in the AFC West, we have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Shit.
You're already talking about them.
You couldn't have split those apart, huh?
Well,
no, I mean, I'll go in as well. I think the Chiefs will take a close second to the Chargers, but they will make a wild card spot.
I think the Chiefs are going to be in. They're still the Chiefs. They still got Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. They'll still be in.
My dad says coin flip in. He says in for both of them. I have the Chiefs in as well. I think they're the second place team in the division. They go 11-6. They catch one of the wild card spots, and they probably take somebody out in the wild card game. So, I
could see it happening there. They got a lot of talent there. You got Andy Reid is still their coach now.
Yep,
sure is.
Yeah,
what's crazy is so say the number 1 team has 13 or 14 wins in the AFC this year for the 1 seed. The 4, 5, 6, 7 seed could only be 2 games behind them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
at 12 wins.
Yeah, crazy.
It's gonna be crazy. That's what I've been kind of emphasizing this year, especially in the AFC. You either got it or you don't. There's no in between this year.
Yeah, the AFC is the tougher road for sure this year. That's why, I'm kind of jealous of you guys with the teams that you have to play. Like, you guys are scared.
You have to play our division, so
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm talking about in the playoffs. So in the playoffs, gotcha. You guys play 49ers and Buccaneers, and could be the Eagles and the Cardinals. We have to play the Bills, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Broncos, any of those teams. I mean, they're all tough. I mean, they got to play us too. We're a tough team too this year, but I don't know what we're going to do by the end of the year or in the playoffs. But
I think the teams that do make the NFC playoff run, I think that they're pretty up there too. I mean, it would be kind of cool to just see an intertwined kind of playoffs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not have teams just represent from conference, just have them play each other based on complete seeding. That would be nuts.
That'd be really cool.
That would be awesome. But I mean, that'll probably never happen.
No, it won't. It'll never happen. You'll keep the divisions forever. I think they should make it back in the old days, in the NHL and the NBA. I think the NBA, do they still do that where they have the top 8 seeds?
No, they have that play-in tournament now.
Well, that play-in tournament doesn't matter, but the top 8, eventually it's the top 8 in the East and West, right?
It's the top 8 in the East and West, and they do a tournament style.
Yeah. Well, they do the play-in games now, which is 7 and 10 and 8 and 9 play.
And they play one game, right?
Yeah, and then they play the winners of that, so they can. The 10 seed could still make the playoffs.
They do a mini tournament to get the 8 and 7 seed in.
Yeah. But it
That's
could be
dumb.
the 10th seed that gets into that 7th seed.
I don't like that. If I'm those teams and I finish 8th and I don't make the playoffs because I have to play a play-in game, that's insane.
I mean,
but
I don't think
what I'm trying to get
playoffs
at is like the
makes
East
sense.
and West they used to have 8 teams, the top 8 in each East West. Like if they did that in the NFL, that would be awesome.
Like
I
it's
don't
just the top teams in each conference. It's not based off division wins or
Like
anything like that.
they would have to take the divisions out of the question, but they wouldn't do
Right.
that. They'd never do
Yeah,
that.
it's
So
none of the major sports do that now, so it's not even baseball does that because of the wild card games.
Edward
is asking if we could make a playoff picture before the season starts.
like
Oh,
playoff
like a
predictions. We could
bracket.
make a video on that. I don't know if we'll be able to do a live show on that because the next live. Well, we could. I mean, we could do it the week of the first.
I mean, we could do
first
it
week.
right now, but like we're
Oh,
already
God.
at 2 hours and 10 minutes, so probably not.
Yeah, well,
That's on-
we'll do that for the first
Full week.
regular season live show, Edward. That's a good idea. So we can make a
I
playoff
like
picture, predicted playoff picture. I like that. We can do that. I can make a bracket. So that'll be really cool.
And we can
We'll
polls
definitely
on
do that.
Twitter,
So
too.
that'll be a Tuesday show, though, Edward. So next week, just so you guys know, a week from today, make a vid of it. We can make a vid too, either or.
Yeah.
A week from today, we are not having a stream like this. We're still streaming. We're still going to be streaming. You guys can jump in the chat, but we are doing our live draft live. So I'm going to have us around and we're going to be able to see picks and everything. And we're going to do our live stream draft. So that should be really cool. We're going to try and figure out how to do that, but I'll figure that out.
We'll get it done.
Yeah.
It'll make sense.
Don't really have time for anything else there because the draft will take like an hour plus there. I mean, we could probably maybe do the playoff predictions right after that, but we're going to
We'll do that.
fantasy
We'll do
teams.
that week 1 to kick off the season.
Yeah,
I like
week 1.
it like that.
So that will be next Sunday. The week after that, our next stream is on Tuesday. Let me look at my calendar here. It's right before the season starts. So next week on the 28th, it's on Sunday. The week after, our next stream is on the 6th, on Tuesday night at 7:30. And that's our normal time that we're going to. Reason why we're doing it Tuesdays, because Sundays, there's football. People will be watching Sunday Night Football right now, 2 weeks from now. So I don't think, I guess 3 weeks from now. But I don't think people will want to watch us over Sunday Night Football. But we're doing it Tuesdays because you have Monday Night Football. Tuesdays, it's kind of like the
Reset
day where you go into the next couple days. And then Thursday Night Football starts right there. So we'll start on Tuesdays doing coverage on all those other games, and we'll go from there. But we will definitely, we can make a video. Edward, would you rather us make a video or would you rather us do that live? So just let us know. Do you guys have anything else?
I think we do that live.
I think we do
like
that
the
live
idea
too.
of that. I think we do that live, and I think we don't tell each other any of our thoughts, and we just do it live.
Do the whole
we
thing
build
live?
it live.
I'm down. I'm down to do that. I will have all the teams.
That's going to take like half a show, though. I just want to let that be known.
It won't take half a show. It's only like, 14 teams?
Yes, math. It's 14 teams.
It'll be us arguing with each other, so that should be funny.
Yeah.
But I'll have to have
like
every
that.
team's overlay ready.
Thanks, Edward.
He says he's game either way, but he likes live.
All right,
we'll do
perfect.
it
We'll
live.
do it live. We might be able to do it on one of those tier list things. Maybe make a bracket. I don't know. We'll make a bracket.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to do it. We'll get it done. Because too many wild card discussions going down. Yeah, that's
It's true. I was thinking about that like while we were going through that. It's kind of like we have like 7 wild card teams in each division.
Yeah.
Possibly.
If we can get Tony in there, Tony's an AFC person like me, and then they're both NFC down there, so we can have the NFC and AFC predictions. Let the pencil speak. Sharpie. That's what you're looking for. But do you guys got anything else?
I don't
Chat, do you have anything
think
else?
so.
Steven? Instead of
I
looking
think we-
blankly into the screen?
Good.
Both of you.
All right. Yeah. We'll go ahead and start wrapping it up. I will start this by thanking each and every one of you in the chat. Although we may have our arguments and I may talk shit, I still love you guys. And
We
I
all
appreciate
talk
you guys for being here with us. This is really fun for us to do, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm really glad Casey up and decided to finally do it and to bring us along with him because it's awesome. I mean, it's fun. Also, it gets me more into the season, and I feel like my fantasy football is going to go a lot better this year. Thank you for that. But yeah, I want to, on behalf of all of us, I want to take the time to thank you guys and to remind you, if you're not subscribed, to do that now. All you got to do is click the button. It's absolutely free.
It'll go right there. So
yeah, it'll pop up on the alert box right there. We might get some sounds in later. I might dabble in that. But make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got those notifications on. Make sure you like the video because that helps us boost our popularity, if you will, so we can get some more people in here chatting with us and get some more opinions going around. Casey, you got anything else?
I do want to say before we leave, if you guys want to see any kind of content, drop it in the chat like Edward just did. We make these videos for you guys, so we want to know what you want to see. Edward wants to see a vid of the playoff picture before the season starts. He wants us to argue about it. We're going to do it. So that should be a really good quality video. We're going to do it live. We'll figure out how to do that. But if there's any kind of content you guys want to see, drop it down in the chat. We take all of your ideas. So whatever ideas you guys want to see
about fantasy football or anything like that too, we can help you guys answer out. We've had a couple people chatting down there in some of our videos that we post throughout the week. We do post videos throughout the week, so make sure you guys check those out as well. But yeah, if you guys have questions on who to pick up throughout the season, I mean, we'll give the best advice that we can give.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, fantasy football experts, but we have been doing it. Well, Casey and I have been doing it for a while. Steven is new this year. We are happy to have him in our season with us.
We are newbie. I love it.
Yep,
but yeah, I mean,
got my team name and everything.
Yeah, tell him your team name, Steven.
I'll let Daniel. I want to see Daniel's reaction to reading it.
Go. Let me hear.
It's Joe Buck Yourself.
Nice. I hate Joe Buck.
What's crazy is my brother Shane still has the best fantasy name. His fantasy football name is Steeler Virginity. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers and then Virginity.
I just love that. I Hate Casey team will be on that trophy forever.
For those of you that don't know, Daniel's team name is the I Hate Casey team. It is on the trophy because we have a trophy and we get a plaque for it every year. Whoever wins it gets slapped on there and it says I Hate Casey team on the trophy, and I fucking hate it.
It's so awesome. I love it.
Mine is Small Bison because I'm a small bison apparently. So
we'll go through that video at some point.
We'll talk about that eventually. But if you guys don't have anything else,
also one quick thing: make sure you follow us on Twitter and TikTok because there's something cool happening on Twitter. If you follow us, Casey can talk about that more if he wants to.
Hold on, time out. I gotta remind. We're doing a giveaway.
That's what
on Twitter. We're doing a giveaway for a live football game this year. It's going to be the Colts and Jags. I don't know what week it is. This is more Casey's realm. Go ahead.
It's in October. On Twitter, I put up that we're giving away 2 of my season tickets to the Colts Jaguars game. So if you are in Indianapolis and you want to go to a game for free, all you have to do is retweet where we sent it at Audible Sport Pod. So you retweet it there. You come to our YouTube page. You subscribe to the page here, to the channel. And you're entered to win. I will be giving them away, I believe, the week of September 20th-ish. I put it on the tweet. I don't really remember. Let me look back on it.
Yeah, and then also follow us on TikTok because when we're at live events, we'll probably be putting videos on there too because we like to have fun at games, especially that Houston Colts game. If you all want to see that hot dog, you'll probably want to look at TikTok.
September 27th on our live stream, I will be giving away those tickets. So there are a few people that have already retweeted it. But all you have to do is retweet it, subscribe to our channel. That's all you have to do. You're entered.
Tag your friends.
Tag anybody. So Indianapolis fans. Later on, I plan to we might give away Cowboy tickets. So we'll give away Cowboy tickets to Cowboy games. We'll give away whatever else. So whatever else you guys want, put in the chat. Whatever teams you root for. Maybe we'll figure that out. Edward's asking, wasn't the mock draft supposed to be today? We kind of scratched that because we are just going to do our live stream draft next week. So that's why.
Because Tony wasn't here also.
And Tony wasn't here. So
we had to pack stuff in. It was kind of a rough week. Okay.
Yeah. My feet are sunburned. I think I have 2nd-degree burns on my feet, but we'll talk about that later too. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But if nobody else has anything, I just want to thank everybody for watching this stream. This is the Audible Sports Podcast. We are 3 idiots, and we thank you guys for watching us. So until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Y'all have a good one. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.